So, I was just in New York, man. You ever been there? They had a big gay parade going on down there. You ever seen one of these? I never been to one, you know, but I like parades, you know. I love a parade. So I go to the parade, and turns out it's just a bunch of gay guys. Hell of a parade that is, huh? Imagine that on the TV, you know, you got Willard Scott and Faith Daniels. Okay, here's a big parade here. Here we go. It's a bunch of gay guys. Look at there. And here comes some more gay guys there, and there's a bunch more gay guys there. Well, hell of a parade this turned out to be here. But what are you going to do? I wish all gay guys come out of the closet so you know who's gay, nobody cares, everybody just lives together, you know. What I don't like is when you don't know, everybody's suspecting you. You know, especially if you're a guy, you know, no matter who you are, if you're a guy, you know, your buddies are behind your back there, you know. Gee, I haven't seen Fred with a woman for a few days. Well, yeah, now you mention it. He asked me to go swimming with him. Oh, Fred's gay! Come on, let's go tell everybody. Fred's gay over there. What are you going to do, man? Actually, I was reading this book. They said every guy, at some point in his life, questions his sexuality. Like, wonders if maybe they're a big gay themselves, you know? Like, you ever have a moment like that where you wonder maybe you're gay? You know, like maybe you'd be watching the TV there, you know? Geez, that William Shatner's a pretty good-looking guy. Hey, wait a minute, I'm a guy now that I think about it here. Let me see, I'm a guy, William Shatner's a guy. Carry the 3, and then that goes over there. And what the hell kind of what the deuce? Who knows, though, huh? Actually, I was reading this book. Get this. They said every guy has something. Get this. This is a different thing. Just about to say the same joke I just said. No, this is a completely different joke. But I was reading the same book. I read a lot of gay literature for some reason. Just to shake up my dad a little, you know? But I was reading this other thing in this other book. It said that if you're afraid of homosexuals, it means that deep down inside, you're actually a homosexual yourself. And that kind of worries me, you know, because I'm afraid of dogs. You know, I don't like dogs. Lately, I've had a hankering to drink out of the toilet bowl. You know, that's the funny part there. Yesterday, I sniffed a girl's butt out in the street there, you know. It has nothing to do with the joke, but I thought I'd get it off my chest, you know.
God bless gay guys. I know a lot of them. They're all good guys, you know. Funny guys. One time I was like, you ever see a gay pride parade? That's taking a little too far to me. Being proud or something like that. Because, that's just what you are, man. You're gay. How can you be proud of that? You know what I mean? That's like saying, hey, man, I'm proud of being in English. God damn. I gotta tell you something. I speak English. I can't tell you. My heart wells with pride about that, man. I talk English every goddamn day. I don't get that. How can you be proud of that? I went to that gay pride parade, man. I seen a guy. They have the parents of the gay guys, you know. God bless them, man. Because some of these guys, and they hold these banners. Say, I'm proud of my gay son, you know. Some of these motherfucking guys, you know, you can tell they were in the war and shit, you know. They never thought they'd come with a banner saying I'm proud of my gay son. You know, the mothers are nice. The guys are like, kind of proud of them, I guess. But seriously, are they actually, you know, bragging about their son being gay? Or they down at work, hey, Billy, man, I gotta tell you something about Jimmy. God damn, we're so proud of him. He graduated Harvard last year, first in the class. God damn smart kid, man. He's articling now, you know, over in the Cambridge area. Oh, my God, next year he should be a full partner. Oh, hey, did I mention he sucks cock? Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this guy loves cock in his mouth, his ass. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I got a picture of him here. Yeah, here's the guy with 5 cocks in his mouth. Right there. God damn, that guy. I don't know how he does it, but I am just so proud of that picture. That's the picture I'm most proud of. him blowing 5 dudes. God bless gay guys.
Wanna get da 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 and get this fix. Come just da 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 da. Just touch my move to the groove now, baby. Feel the rhythm in your bones. Let me see you shake your body, baby. Let me see you moving nice and slow.
I started to think about it, you know, and plus I drank a lot of whiskey, and then afterwards,
the edge off it a little, I'm
yeah,
guessing.
I just thought, like that. Before you knew it, I was so crazily drunk, like just drunk out of my mind. And so then time passes in a weird way and everything. And my friends, they wanted to leave the bar.
Right.
Like, yeah, let's go, right? And I'm like, I got my crazy all of a sudden, right? So I'm like, why should I leave? We're having fun here at the bar. You guys leave if you want, right? So I was like real drunk, and everybody was like cool. It was like a Western. It had a jukebox, you know, one of those. Guy gives you a whole bottle there, you know, and you go, and then...
That's what you do when you're drinking.
Like
You a pirate?
Yeah.
All of a sudden?
And then he came out, he's in a wheelchair, and he talks like this. He goes, but he was, I'll get you a couple of hot, dirty broads, you know, and then while you're having sex, them I'll come into my wheelchair. You know? Who knows what it means? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, you know? You're not going to...
What? I love it.
What I'm saying is, why would a famous...
What was she doing? Wasn't there some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They do. That's what they do. Right?
That's what ladies that I know do. But I'll tell you this about Johnny Depp. He's taken this sexiest man alive thing and he's using it to his benefit, as all good people in show business should. The new movie he's doing, Pirates of the Caribbean 3, he'll be doing full frontal nudity.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's rated R.
Oh my God! What the hell was that? I pick up the blue.
Why is it that in some sports, like beach volleyball or snowboarding, the women are breathtakingly beautiful, and you would think they would be big, you know, like big. So you'd think they'd be big monsters of ladies.
Why would you think that, though?
Well, like softball.
We can't be
I keep reading like feud. There's no feud because
No, there's not.
I never did anything to him.
That's right.
For a feud, I'd have to be going, you know. So I take up the mustard, I go, and I throw the mustard up.
Yeah.
So I go to the gym, and holy Lord, have you ever been to one of these?
No, I don't go.
They're crazy. Yeah. You got like, they got the weights, you know, that's the big thing,
Big
weights.
weight machines, sure.
So you got to like lift the weight, it's really heavy, and then you got to put it down, then afterwards lift it again right away. And it's endless. It's like hundreds of lifting, and then afterwards you're just like sore and you're not big at all. And I don't know how to drive a car, you know.
You don't drive at all?
No, I never learned how.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't like them. I find them dangerous, you know? Like, you drive and you're in a car and you're going like 70, and then another car comes, he's going 70, right? And then there's like a foot between you, you know?
Yeah.
You're like, and they're honking, they're honking. And then who knows what, it's only a foot, you know? You know, like imagine you're in a plane and you're flying and you look out, there's some plane wreckage on a mountain, right? Or a plane comes beside you like 10 feet. He's honking, you know?
That's sky rage.
Hey, wait a second here. Hey! I am going to preemptively attack my hearse. And before it does anything, I'll just be like, my hearse, like, well, I didn't do anything. You go, right, sonny, you're not going to. Like, one time I remember I was under the influence of the demon rum, and God, I started punching my newborn in the face. Yeah. This is the amount of time that you think about sex, every once in a while. But then the problem becomes, when you think about it, is all you can think about. You know, you're just like, like a f***ing werewolf or something. Like, usually you're a civilized human being. But then every couple of days you're like, the cancer's gonna jump up and go, Uncle Bert's wife. Where is he? I won fair and square. You're like, your mind's gone. Your mind is gone. That's all I know. Like, I am you. My is going, hello? Yeah, hey, Frank, what's going on? Yeah, I remember that shirt. What's about that? I gotta go. You know. Because fucking suck that venom. Yeah, you fucking suck that fucking venom. Yeah, you want to spit it out? You got a fucking mouth load. I'll fucking shoot it out of your face, you fucking cunt. You fucking whore.
Oh, thanks, dude. I didn't get any of that in my mouth.
Yeah, no problem, man. We'll be back with Simon Helber. You fucking sit down.
You're kidding me.
No. We just found out that Norm MacDonald passed away. Oh my God. I love Norm MacDonald.
He's young. And there it goes.
I don't know what to say.
Me either.
Yeah, we worked together on Last Comic Standing. I took the job because I wanted to work with Norm MacDonald, and we fought every day.
You fought with him?
We not like getting, but we would joke back and forth with each other, and it took a little while for us to gel. You know, that he would say something and I would make fun of it, and he was like, "Why is the host making fun of the judge?"
When you were at the ATM machine, you were no longer a black guy. You were a human being.
That was great. Almost racist, but then you got it right under the bar, Norm. That's why I love you. Keep it going for DC Urban, everybody. Great job, please.
Devastated, Conan O'Brien writing, Norm had the most unique comedic voice I have ever encountered, and he was so relentlessly and uncompromisingly funny. I will never laugh that hard again. Jim Carrey calling him a dear friend, saying he was one of our most precious gems, an honest and courageous comedy genius. I love him. Whitney Cummings tweeted, Norm is the pinnacle of bravery and originality. Senator Bob Dole, who MacDonald often played on SNL, sharing a photo with the caption, he was a great talent, and I loved laughing with him on SNL. Bob Dole will miss Norm MacDonald.
There's no chance of you running for president again?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really? Because, you know, it'd be good for me.
And the Laugh Factory's marquee in Hollywood tonight lit up with McDonald's bright smile and the message, make God laugh.
I like it with the Laugh Factory. It says, God says, when a guy dies. Didn't a comic die recently?
Like Jonathan
Winters. So then they'll say,
make God laugh.
Make God laugh. What does it say?
Make God laugh.
Jonathan Winters. Make God laugh.
Some really sad news today. We have lost an absolute comedy legend. I'm sure you'll have seen this in the news today. Norm MacDonald passed away today far too soon, far too young, after a 9-year battle with cancer, a battle that Norm never told anybody about, because all Norm ever wanted to do was to make us laugh. And he was absolutely brilliant at it. He said Mickey Mouse is huge at Disney World. If you see Mickey Mouse at Disney World, you're like, kids, go on get him. Oh, it's Mickey Mouse. And he goes, you see that same Mickey Mouse in a 7-Eleven, you are holding your kids back like, whoa. Because he's only big within the confines of Disneyland.
He took a picture with a child.
Yeah.
And the child slipped from his hands, from Mickey Mouse's hands. Oh, no. Fortunately, Mickey Mouse has huge shoes, so the shoes broke the child's fall. And thank goodness for that. And he was fine, but he was crying, and everyone was concerned. Oh, except Mickey Mouse had a big smile, like he can't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was completely nonplussed.
That's great.
He was not nonplussed. He was unaffected.
I always think about this. I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I got it right. This is my favorite Weekend Update joke of all time that I think about often. It is a perfect Norm joke. The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes.
The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes.
SNL 40th was a few years ago. I got to stand on stage with Colin Quinn and Kevin Nealon and Norm. And the SNL 40th was a night where everyone just got a couple things to say. There was in an effort to find. And I remember laughing really hard, not at what Norm was saying as much as the idea that any of us thought Norm would play by anyone else's rules on any night.
We here are mere utility infielders. So right now, I'm going to introduce a man.
Right now? Over the years, I started at SNL in 2001. And I remember one time Norm walked back into the studio to visit. I don't remember how old his son was at the time, but his son was young, and someone said, "Hey, Norm, how's being a dad?" And he said, "It's going great, still no abductions." That's the first thing I ever heard him say in person. My son was watching you on Update and said to me, "You talk like Seth Meyers." And he told me that when he said that, he said, "Oh no, my son doesn't know how time works." He was the gold standard, and he will continue to be the gold standard. And
I've been searching for what's missing, but the answer.
How do you figure out how much to share about what goes on behind the scenes at SNL? Because I know that you were talking about Eddie not doing Bill Cosby on Howard Stern's show, and Seth Meyers wasn't crazy about that. He came out about the Ellen and said, I wouldn't have told that story.
Seth Meyers said that?
Yeah, he said, do we have the quote here? Just bring up the quote. He said, I wouldn't have told it. I feel the same way. I think when you're at SNL, you're seeing so many different things behind the scenes. There are often things to give away that are yours to give away. Norm played it in a way that is very Norm MacDonald. And he went on to praise you, but I don't know what that means. I mean, how do you choose what to reveal and what not to reveal, what to share and what not to share about an institution as powerful as SNL?
I always think, what would Seth Meyers do? It's ridiculous.
Do you have like a necklace or something with a WWSMD on it?
Yeah.
And whenever you're in a pickle, just hold that. And what would Seth do?
Yeah, because, if you really want to be really funny, then that's what you want to do. You want to think, what would make Seth Meyers laugh? That's how I live my life.
What do you think of his show?
Of what show?
The Seth Meyers show.
It's not something I would do.
obvious reasons, we lost Norm MacDonald this week, which was just, I had no idea that he was even sick. And he's a guy that I knew a little bit. I was definitely friendly with him. If we saw each other, we said hello and we shot the shit, but it wasn't like someone that I talked to on the phone or anything. And I was such a huge fan of his, and I would just always end up running into him. And he just always had that smile on his face. Like, as you talk to him, he would have that smile. Just a really great, warm guy. And I remember, I was trying to think what Norm's story to tell you. This one isn't necessarily funny. It was just sort of random. I went out to go see Bill Cosby in concert right before all the bullshit happened out in Pasadena. And he played this theater out there, which, interestingly enough, was where they had the 25th anniversary of Motown celebration, which is the first place Michael Jackson publicly did the moonwalk. I saw Bill Cosby at that theater. And I remember they had it all set up where, like, they almost built him like a little living room. He had like an Archie Bunker type chair, a little square rug, and then like a side table where he put his water. And he just came walking out, and there was the mic. There was no mic stand. It was just sitting on the chair. And he just came out. You know how he kind of walked a little bent over? Came walking out, waved to everybody, sat down, picked up the mic, and for like almost 2 hours, just, hour and a half, just killed. Just fucking killed. Had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Masterclass of stand-up, right? So I leave with my lovely wife, and I go out front, and who's standing there is Norm MacDonald. He was like, hey, Bill, hey, how you doing? I talked. It was like, no, what's going on? I was so psyched that he knew my name and all of that stuff, and I think I had met him before. And then we just stood there talking about comedy and how amazing it was to see Bill Cosby and how good he still was. Like I said, this was before all the bullshit happened. And my admiration for the guys, it went even higher. That, I understood why I was there, but I thought Norm was so good that he didn't need to be there. And he was still there, still trying to learn and everything. And I was thinking, like, wow, this is why this guy is so fucking amazing. And, he's just was somebody that you couldn't just watch one video of him. Like, I was saying to Verzi how, like, guys like Ric Flair, Norm MacDonald, there's a few people, if you click on their videos, it's like, say goodbye to the next 2 hours of your life, because everything that they did is so interesting and so different and so funny. And one of my favorite Norm MacDonald things that he ever did, because so many people like pretend that they don't give a fuck, both in my business and in other businesses. You got I don't give a fuck. Hey, you know me, I don't give a fuck. Those people that advertise them. Like, that guy clearly, in the best way, didn't give a fuck. He really cared about people and stuff, but like he did what he wanted to do. And when he was on SNL, how big a gig that was, because there was so few channels, the internet hadn't blown up yet, and even with basic cable and everything, I mean, it was still, if you were on Saturday Night Live and you were doing Weekend Update, it was one of the most coveted gigs a comedian could have. And you were part of this lineage of, at that point it was, Chevy Chase, Jane Curtin, right on through to Dennis Miller's reign when he did it. And, did Colin Quinn come after? I think Colin came after, but it was always just like the best of the best comics that they had doing it, and continued on with Tina Fey and all of them. And no one's walking away from that job. And if some suit at NBC tells you they don't like the jokes you're doing and be funnier, you're shaking in your, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I'm going to lose this big gig. I don't want to get fired. I don't want to piss these people off or whatever. I guess he was doing all those OJ jokes, and somebody, I forget how the story went. There was somebody there that knew OJ or something, and was telling Norm to back off and move on to something else. So what does Norm do? He just doubles down and he just does even more OJ jokes, which is like, you know, the balls that took to do that. And he ended up losing the gig. He got fired. And people loved him and he was fucking hilarious, but he didn't back down to the big fucking guy over there, and he ended up losing the gig. So, as luck would have it, I think it was Dirty Work, came out like a year and a half later or so. So he has to promote it, and he's on the press thing. So Lauren has him back and has him host the show. And I remember he went out there, and his opening joke, he just comes out. And he was just like, something like this. Yeah, it's good to be back. I actually got fired from this show about a year and a half ago because they said it wasn't funny. And now here I am. I'm hosting the show. So that means one of two things. Either I got a lot funnier or this show sucks. And then he had that big shit-eating grin on his face, and he started laughing. And then he proceeded to do a bunch of OJ jokes.
Then it occurred to me, I haven't gotten funnier. The show has gotten really bad. So yeah, I'm funny compared to, well, you'll see later.
And it was just like that fucking thing about him. And the whole time, I just felt the whole time when people were fucking with him or whatever and trying to take what he had, he always just still had that smile on his face, and he just still did exactly what he wanted to do. And I got so much respect for him. And I feel so fortunate that I got to see him live. So I remember, oh my God, I saw him right after 9/11. The Aspen after 9/11. Aspen Comedy Festival was this big fucking festival that was always a nightmare to get in and out of. Every year it would snow and people would get stuck in Denver, or you get snowed in, you couldn't get out. It was a fucking nightmare. And then as a comedian, you had to perform. It was like a mile higher than fucking Denver. And no one could breathe, and you're performing in front of all these super fucking rich people in front of industry, and you just go up and you would eat your fucking balls, and you're like, why did I come out here? And I remember I saw Joe Rogan do a full set that I still remember, and then I saw Norm MacDonald. It was at the same theater, and I remember Norm came out, and he was doing bits on racial profiling and all of this stuff. I'm not going to butcher the guy's bits, but I remember just watching that full set, and I was like, this guy is one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen in my life. And I thought that every time I saw him. And I don't know. It was a pleasure to know the guy, even on a little level. Just a massive, massive, massive loss to not have him around. And especially now with all of this stupid fucking cancel culture horseshit that is going on, which has way, way, way overstepped its bounds. As it always happens, no matter who's behind it, it always ends up, starting off with something that makes sense, and then that becomes the overreach, and then it just becomes like, hey, is it me, or did you literally become what the fuck you were trying to stop? And we, I don't know, as a comedian, really needed a guy like Norm out there to be eviscerating it and making fun of it and still doing what the fuck you want to do. So if there's any other young comics out there, if you want to see how it's done, watch that guy, because he was the real deal. All right? So Once again, rest in peace to the great Norm MacDonald. Just truly, without a doubt, one of the greatest stand-up comedians I ever saw in my life. And just such a great guy. And it's just so sad that he won't be around anymore. But I actually got off the plane in a better mood from just watching literally the beauty of who he was and his work. When I got off the plane, I was actually like, I don't know, there's something about him. I just thought he understood life. Just a really warm guy. God damn it. It's always those guys that go. So there's your lesson. Don't be nice. You'll live forever. All right.
In Duluth, Minnesota, authorities suspect arson was to blame for a fire that destroyed a mobile home and killed 73 cats. The chief suspect so far, this dog. Dogs don't care for cats much, you know. How could they not know that? This week, Disney released a new CD featuring a rapping Mickey Mouse. To avoid controversy, the CD will not include the controversial hit single, Cat Killer. And in a related story, this week marked the 5,000th performance of the Broadway musical Cats. It also marked the 5,000th time a guy turned to his wife and said, "What the hell is this?" You know, cat ladies, they're so crazy, they're always thought to be crazy. You know what's even crazier? Snake ladies.
Oh, yeah.
They have all the
Absolutely.
This is so your style right here.
What?
The writers, whoever they are, they're writing, they know how to write for you. Just read that one.
Cats and paraplegics have a lot in common. For starters, neither appreciates going into your pool.
No, you didn't read it right. Neither appreciates being tossed in your neighbor's pool.
Yeah, they deserve a raise.
Know the end is day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I may act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all I need.
Am I able to have a good time? My cat just had a heart attack.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he had a heart. You ever hear such a crazy thing?
No, I didn't know they got things like that.
Yeah, they get heart attacks. So I got it off Steve Corrin, this writer up at
Sure,
Saturday Night
I know
Live.
him, yeah.
Yeah, so he gives me his cat.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it's some kind of a defective cat, you know? So he's a nice cat and everything. I'm getting along with him. I come back to my apartment last week. The cat's like foaming at the mouth. He's shaking like this. He's foam coming out. So I didn't want to get near it. I thought maybe he'd, who knows? He was delirious. Maybe he'd think I'm a mouse. So I said, I didn't want to get near him. So I phoned 911. You know, I panicked. I phoned 911.
Right.
Which it turns out it's just for people. I didn't know that.
Didn't know either.
They got mad. I mean, they said they would have me arrested if I phoned back.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, you know, I love this cat. It's a good cat. So I took him down. I got him in a cab, and I took him down to the hospital, the animal hospital.
Uh-huh.
And the guy tells me my cat had a heart attack. He takes him away. He says, oh, yeah, he had cardiac arrest and stuff. And he started asking me questions about, like, he says, I said, what would cause that? He goes, you know, diet, stress.
Stress?
Yeah. Well, he had a big promotion coming up. So, and then he let me visit the cat. He says, you can visit the cat, you know. There's visiting hours. I go, all right. So you go in this room, and then they bring the cat in a cage. He's all drugged up. And then they put the cat, like, on a bed. And then the guy goes, okay, we'll be back in a half an hour. You have half an hour, you know? So I'm with the cat, like, for half an hour. So after 5 minutes, you know, I figured, I got a life to get back to. You know, it's a cat. So we go out, and so afterwards he told me he had a lot of, he said he could have an operation, which was like $4,000, which, you know, I could buy like 100 cats for that, you know? But then I figured, what the hell would I do with 100 cats? So,
right. So you got the cat. You sprung for the operation.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, there was another thing where where he's on medication, you know, and I have him on medication. I have this medication, and he said there was some good news and bad news. He said the bad news was the cat only has like a 20% chance of survival, but he says the good news is it's just a cat.
I like He's a bad doctor. He's a bad doctor too.
On the subject of SNL, and it's sweet when you took over for Norm, and Gilbert and I haven't said anything. Gilbert, I don't know. Have you spoken publicly since Norm passed about him, Gil?
I don't know if
We haven't said anything on this show, which we would like to do now. You both knew him well, but the bartender speech when you took over, and obviously it was a very awkward period for you.
Oh God!
To be stepping into that role, and also a friend's job.
Yes, yeah. It was like we lived in the same building too.
You know how you go to your favorite bar and your local bartender isn't there? You ask, where's Jeff? Jeff no longer works here, I'm Steve. And you're thinking, hey, who's this idiot? I like Jeff, but you still want your drink? And even though Steve doesn't mix your drink the same way you're used to, like Jeff, you still like the bar, you don't have to go to a different bar. And even Steve might feel kind of bad because Jeff trained him.
Did he ever say anything to you about that? Did he ever give you a blessing?
He was so he was so classy in not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all.
You have that great I'm Steve, what can I get you?
Yeah.
The bartender piece.
Well, I'm Steve. What can I get you?
But I wish it would have stayed the way it was. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, Norm is... he's so funny. He was so distinctively funny. You know?
Nobody like him, really.
No, he had his own thing. You know what I mean? He was just very... well, like Gilbert. I mean, they just have their own... They march to their own drummer, even in a business where everybody marches to their own drummer. They both have that... you know, idiosyncratic thing where it just be like, this is how I am, and that's it. And it's great. But, you know, you have to tune to their frequency. You know, it's not like you can just, you know.
You know what's funny about that first update you did? Here's Norm being fired, as we all know, by Don Ohlmeyer.
Right.
Because of cutting too close to the bone with the OJ jokes, when in fact he was doing a public service by telling those OJ jokes. And I'm watching you do your first update. There's an OJ joke. It's like the third joke.
Yeah.
In the February issue of Esquire magazine, O.J. Simpson said that if I had killed Nicole, it would have been because I loved her very much. And then he said, and if I had killed Ron Goldman, it would have been because he accidentally witnessed me loving Nicole very much. Somebody should buy this guy a John Gray book, all right?
You shook his hand once? OJ? Getting out of a car?
Well, I was...
Or he was getting out of a limo?
He was getting out of a limo middle of the afternoon, and I have no psychic energy. I've never had those kinds of things, you know. But for whatever reason, this was in an afternoon. He's getting out of a limo with a girl. It's spring break. It's packed with people. It's Florida. And they're like, hey, do you want to meet OJ? I go, yeah, OJ, he's greatest running back of all time. You know, great, charming movie star. I shake his hand. He shakes my hand. And he's not even looking at me. He's looking past me. And he shakes my hand. And I felt like a joke of like evil. I swear to God.
It's like the Dead Zone.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like. And I was like, that was weird, OJ. I love OJ. Well, that was weird energy, you know.
Wow. So you picked up on something.
I feel like I did, you know. It's, of course, in retrospect, but I remember telling people at the time, so.
I was also fond of, going back to your SNL bits, Colin Quinn explains the New York Times.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the St. Pat's editorial and Joe Blow. You look like you were having fun, and the best stuff is you and Norm together.
That's right. That's right.
There's obviously an affection that comes across on the screen.
Yes, yeah. And that was the early days of it. It was great.
I'm sorry we never managed to get him here. We tried, and for whatever reason, he was as elusive as you.
He's more elusive. He's like,
he was.
I love to do it. I'd love to. You're like, oh, good. How about next week? Yes. What day? And you're like, okay. Yeah. He's like, all right, call him and we'll set it up. Next week is perfect because I'm doing this. And you're like, hey, I'll say Norm. Years later, what happened? What? I thought I was going to come on your show. What happened? It's like, oh, Jesus, Norm.
Well, like you say, march to his own drum.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember meeting OJ at a party years ago, and it turns out he was a fan.
Uh-oh.
And he did an imitation of me, and to this day, I wish I had like that on film.
Of
Because it would be like Charles Manson doing an imitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wonder if people, like you say, you don't like people who are not hardworking. I wonder, are there people who worked as hard as Steve did and does?
I was thinking when I said it that there's an exception. I know we're both admirers of Norm MacDonald, and he seems sometimes like someone who has something. It's his cadence. It's the way he talks. I don't know if he's a hardworking comic, but God, he makes me laugh. Mm-hmm. And his cadence, something is just wrong about it, you know?
But I love Norm, and my guess is, what I know of Norm is that he may not be working hard.
No.
But what he has is the same result as somebody who's worked hard.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, again, enviable, admirable. But God, he makes me laugh. And I happened across some of his time on Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you watch it now, you realize Norm just didn't care if it got a laugh.
No. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And he had a joke. I think Downey wrote the joke. It was during the OJ trial. And there's a picture of Johnny Cochran holding up the knit cap with OJ sitting next to him. And God, no one could do this but Norm. Norm said, a little bit of a wrinkle for OJ in the trial today. Johnny Cochran stood up and held the knit cap that was found at the scene of the double murders when OJ jumped up and said, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap. Who else could do that?
Right.
And he doesn't. And if it got nothing, he would stare.
Yeah.
And tell you your problem. I thought that was one of the best. Dark but fantastic.
Right.
And also no one could do it but him.
No, that's what I was going to say. I would, if somebody had pitched that joke to me at the height of the OJ trial, I would have laughed and not done it. Would you have done that joke?
No, I would not have done that.
Yeah.
I would have been queasy and it's tragedy and it was theater of some kind.
Yeah.
Theater of the absurd.
But the delivery, the persona, and the material, it's
perfect.
Powerful. Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of entertaining celebrities, but Norm MacDonald used to come on our show in the early days, and those were, I thought, great television because we never knew it was happening, and it was always teetering on the edge of it was all about to blow up. It's all about to fail, and it would always end brilliantly. And then he stopped coming around, and it was just a period that passed. And I was always sad about that because I thought we're a very celebrity-conscious age, and people always think that the best guests are the biggest celebrities. Sometimes, the best guests are these people that you have a weird connection with, and it's compelling television. People see and they talk to me about it later on. Like I'll be out in the world walking around and people will say, I saw that when you were with Harlan or when you were with Norm or with Will, and that really got wild and crazy in a way that they don't see on television now.
Have you, over the years, who are some of the people who have been your go-to people that I just remember Dave in his early years had Terry Garr and he had Sandra Bernhard.
Yes.
And they were kind of magic together. Who are your...
I had so many people. Norm MacDonald was this person who would come... you all know Norm MacDonald, but Norm MacDonald, when we would have him on in the early days, to this day, I've never interviewed anybody like Norm MacDonald.
Who was the best guest that you've ever interviewed, and who was the worst?
I love Will Ferrell. I also love Norm MacDonald because he comes on and his stories are all invented. None of them are real. They're all old farmers' daughters jokes. And he pretends he'll come on. I'll say, what's up, Norm? He'll be like, The other day, I was walking down the road, and a pirate comes up. I'm like, what? Yeah, a pirate comes along, and he's got 3 pigs with him. One of them is wearing a hat. One's got a pipe, and then it's just a complete waste of everybody's time. That's absolutely delightful and hilarious, and so I love him.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm Macdonald.
Yes.
This might go off the rails really fast.
I
type of guys.
mean, yeah. I mean, Norm Macdonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that no, Norm Macdonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on, and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, hey, Bill, tell me, well, and remember I was living in Chestnut Hill once, and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Norm, what are you up to? And I mean, really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan. I'd be like, really? You purchased a... Yeah, I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters. And I'm like, you have 3 daughters? Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, kind of... Well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly. And I'd be like, Well, one day, this traveling salesman comes to the farm, and he says, now, Norm, I tell you. And then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah.
But
about halfway through where it's going.
I mean, I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that, no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes, we call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually where we could just queue it up on command?
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw you saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show, and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith. And I'll think, that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like 85 now.
No, I was just thinking, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, Bob Dole came right out and said
he was one of the first.
Yeah. And you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that in some corners is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This is Viagra. It's insane. And you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, it's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is, you know...
Refer to Spade.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rip kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awful.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
If you're gay, he's a completely straight guy. He gets a lot of ladies. You know that about him with the ladies.
Don't say ladies.
Women, girls.
Okay, thank you. Ladies, what are we, fucking on an FM station here?
He's Don Cornelius.
But these gay guys, man, I was reading, you know about
these gay guys.
I haven't even said hi yet. All right. Tell me what it is with these gay guys.
I know, I'm already...
I just read this thing about the George
You're reading
Michael.
a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I got a little time off. Now I read the newspaper. And this really strikes me about the gay community. I don't know if they're a community, but...
called West Hollywood.
Yeah, they're gay, and it's, you know, George Michaels, he hangs around the bathroom, he has sex with multiple guys. This is
no way. You got to get it right. Hangs around the bathroom,
Right.
and it was described as a lewd behavior, but I don't remember sex with numerous guys.
Well,
is that what you took away from it?
What does he do?
What were you, in the next stall?
I could have been just having a nice bathroom regular thing.
I don't know what lewd behavior is, but I don't know that he was in there with numerous guys. But
this
anyway,
is
go ahead. We get the gist of it.
This is definitely a gay thing, because this is a pop superstar. You know what I mean? You're not going to walk into a bathroom and all of a sudden Farrah Fawcett's like, you know? You're not going to...
What? I love it.
What I'm saying is, why would a famous
what was she doing? What was that, some sort of cervical belt sander thing, or what was that? Oh, Christ, what are you, Linda Blair?
They do. That's what they do. Right?
That's what ladies that I know do.
Good to know that primetime exposure's paying dividends there.
But I think that's what it is. It's that the gay, that's why they have separate bathrooms. Let's face it. If they had women and, women, as you call them, I call them ladies. If you had them in the same bathroom, like you go in the bathroom to do your business, see a man about a dog there, you know, and you're in the bathroom. You're in the bathroom. All of a sudden, a beautiful lady comes out. Oh, here's my vagina and breasts. You're going to be hanging out at that bathroom a lot. So I don't blame anybody for anything.
Can you believe Olmeyer didn't get him?
We're all the same, man.
Have you ever met Olmeyer since then?
Don Olmeyer I met once, after he fired me.
Yeah.
Then I went and visited him in his office. which was it wasn't an office I've never seen. It was like a wet bar and a bunch of weird sports trophies. He's a big sports guy, you know.
Yeah.
So he explained it to me what happened, but he did it all with sports stuff, you know. Like he said, man, you see, you're the number 3 hitter, but now you're going to be number 8. And then later on, Ken Griffey will show up. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then I said, well, Christ, man, what the hell am I supposed to do? And he goes, I don't know, just walk it off, you know. And
I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were fucking with O.J. too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's his buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah, well, that's why you got canned.
O.J.'s a good guy. I mean, he's not...
We got to end on that, Normie, but there's what they'll remember you by. O.J.'s a good guy.
Man,
Thanks for coming on. Norm MacDonald and David Spade. Stick around, guys.
When you know your own name, you see it in popular culture used, you know, and Norm is always like, I noticed this ever since I was a kid. When I was very young, there was a show called Peyton Place with Ryan O'Neal as a sexy brother. Norm is, you know, deeply closeted man.
You don't know I'm a secret homosexual, do you?
No, I saw that, actually. A deeply, according to you, a deeply closeted homosexual is what you said. Do you remember?
Yes, I do. I can't believe you. Well, I guess the biggest thing that nobody knows about me is I'm a deeply closeted gay man.
What? I mean, that's, you're a gay man?
I'm not gay. I said I'm deeply closeted. I'm as straight as an arrow.
So you're a gay man who won't admit it?
No. Do you know what deeply closeted means?
Yeah.
It means a man who will not acknowledge that he's gay.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, I'm not gay. You know, on your last show, I came out as a deeply closeted gay man.
Yeah.
And I'm not gay. But David, on one time, and this is a true story, and Dave, you'll attest to this, bought me a beautiful leather jacket.
Oh, that's right.
Well out of my price range. Now, I'm no one to take charity.
I'm not one to take charity.
I'm saying I sucked him off.
What's something people don't know about you?
I'm a deeply closeted gay guy.
No kidding.
Well, I'm not coming out, though.
Wait a minute. What are you revealing here today?
I'm not revealing anything. I'm saying I'm deeply closeted.
Well, that means you're gay. That means you're very, very gay, but you don't want to come out. You're so closeted.
That I refuse to say I'm gay.
Right.
Exactly.
But doesn't that mean you're gay?
Hey, easy, buddy. Everything's good about, you know, you're an Irishman. My mother, she was orange. My father, he was green. It was the biggest mix-up that you have ever seen. I'm Scottish. I'm a Scot. You're Irish.
Yes.
What are you?
Swedish German.
Swedish German. Are you really?
Yeah, really. Why would I lie about that? It's not funny.
It's very odd, 'cause
it's a very strange lie. I'd put one over on those people. Yeah.
Swedish German. No, I'll tell you why it's funny, man, because I was in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
I met a good old boy down there, and he said, have you ever He said, you know Andy Richter?
Yeah? Yeah, he did?
Yeah.
You met a guy in Georgia and he said, you know Andy Richter?
Oh, yeah, you guys do well there.
Oh.
And he said, I said, yeah. He said, you ever heard of Andy Richter joke? I said, no. He said, well, most of it's based on him being Swedish-German. And then he told me an Andy Richter joke. And
Really?
But I didn't know he was Swedish-German. I thought it was all nonsense.
Yeah, well, now this lines up perfectly. Let me ask you something, because it sort of relates to the first...
Wait, don't you want to hear the joke?
No. Oh, you're down to 6. You're down to 6. All right, this joke will get you back up.
You can get him back.
Let's hear the joke.
Well, the fella says, he says, man, he says, you ever heard a time about the old prospector? That's how he tells you,
Yeah.
He says, man, there was an old prospector, and he was prospecting for gold, and he was having a hell of a time getting any gold. It was an empty stake, I believe. And he said he'd come into town one day. He'd been in the mine for a good 8 months. He said, by God, he said, I'm only flesh and blood. Sure. Yeah. And I need a woman, you know. And so he goes into town. He goes up to the bartender. He says, bartender, he says, man, I've been in that mine for a hell of a long time, and I'm only flesh and blood. I need a woman. Well, the bartender says, hell, there ain't no women in this town. If you want to do any of that business, all we got is Andy Richter, the Swedish-German. The prospector, he says, no, he says, hell, I ain't into that funny stuff, you know. He says, I'll be fine. So he goes back to his state, you know, and he's back in that mine, man, and 6 months passes, and a year passes, and Conan, you know, people are weak. Man is made of flesh and pride, as the scriptures tell us, and by God, that old prospector finally broke to his knees, and he said, I'm no worse than he went back to the bar. He was a beaten man. He says to the bartender, he says, hell, man, I've been in that place 2.5 years. A man has needs, and if you say there's no women in this here town, he says, well, I'll have to go for Andy Richter, the Swedish-German. But he says, listen now, he says, man, I'm a tough old hombre, you know, and I got friends now. He says, I don't want anybody to know about this. You know, this is back in the old days.
Sure, yeah.
He says,
I can tell by the accent, yeah.
He says, I got my cowpoke friends and so forth. I'd hate to hell anybody know about this. You know, this got to be all secret. Nobody. I say, nobody can know about this. Bartender says, well, 4 people will know about it. How do you figure that? He says, well, he says, I'll know about it. He says, you'll know about it. Andy Richter, the Swedish-German, will know about it. And the feller that has to hold down Andy will know about it.
Why?
Why? Because Andy Richter, the Swedish-German, he don't go for that funny business neither.
Well, at least you left me my dignity.
Yeah.
I like the way that story ended.
Yeah,
that was a nice.
You weren't gay.
Right. Well, but that's not beside the point.
You were raped.
No, it's more. It's more that I wasn't prostituting myself. That's what I was getting.
You're such a horrible man.
We're on basic cable, but it's still valuable airtime.
I don't know about that.
No, in Georgia, they say there's a whole subgenre of Andy the Swedish-German joke. That's what the guy told me.
Well, you know what? I asked you, how are you?
Yeah?
And you went into, I believe, a 48-minute joke.
Oh,
which
I'm sorry.
was fantastic. But now we have to take a commercial break.
Are you kidding me?
What? Yes! I'm about to grow my beard back if I don't...
What's the hardest drug that Norm MacDonald's done?
I guess love.
Where did you go?
I had to go powder my nose.
Oh, man. I've never seen a guest do that before.
I had to go.
You ran away during the commercial break.
I ran away, I freshened up, I powdered my nose.
Freshened up?
And then I took a piss in the sink.
All right. Why? Why do I ask? It's my fault.
You go to, you start doing comedy, and, you know, what is interesting to me is we hear about this.
Cocaine is not working. I'm from the time, let me tell you something, Jay. I'm from the time, I remember when pot was something you cooked your eggs in. Yes. I remember when hash was something you were made out of corned beef. Yeah, exactly. I remember when acid was something you threw in a guy's face when he made a pass at your wife.
Right. Exactly. Where are those days? Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember ecstasy when it was just the feeling you had when you threw that vial of acid in the guy's face.
So wouldn't you love to ask Dole, like, when he was doing the commercial for what they now call erectile dysfunction?
Yeah.
And I mean, how do you feel when you sit down and do that kind of a commercial? I mean, it's got to be a little embarrassing, you know.
I don't feel that an old man should have erectile function. No, just thinking, you know, because they have that Viagra thing out.
Yeah.
And the other day, you know, Bob Dole came right out and said
he was one of the first.
Yeah. And, you know, you don't want to hear about Bob Dole's cock, you know? I mean, President Clinton's cock, Bob Dole's cock, what the hell? But mostly, an old man like that, an old man, you don't want him to have a super hard cock. You know what I mean?
Why?
Why? Because an old man, you want him to be, got a pipe going, a newspaper, the dog at his feet there.
Well, that, in some corners, is considered pipe.
Oh. But now they're going to have to create some goddamn pill that makes women aroused at the sight of a fucking 70-year-old dude with a super hard cock. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. This Viagra. It's insane. Now, you know what it's for? Impotent people. All right, yeah. It's for impotent guys. So get this. I read this. The pill can make your cock hard for 4 hours.
Right.
So now, who has the 4-hour hard cock? The impotent guy. The rest of us are fucked. Me and you got our regular cocks. Meanwhile, fucking Spade is, you know.
Oh, man. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it coming.
Dude, I know you didn't. He brought it all around and then a vicious rib kick into his best friend's gut.
Once there's too much cock talk, I try to just zone out for a minute till it goes back the other way.
If there's too much cock talk, this guy has fevered nightmares all night. Dreams, I mean, like sweaty, fevered dreams from the cock talk that's been all over his head.
Why bury me twice? He's killing me.
No, he's a good man.
That erased it. All right.
No, he's a good man.
Who cares?
After all that, that's the whiteout he puts on.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
After he talks about you doing chin-ups on cock for 18 minutes. No, he's a good guy.
Just backstage, a lot of celebrities back there, man. I was talking to Jerry Jones, you know, the Cowboys owner, and he's disappointed, obviously. Yeah. Well, he's a good guy, though, man. He's talking about rebuilding the team, you know. And he told me, he says, we have to get back to what made us a championship team. Strippers and crack.
And of course, it was very inspiring to see President Clinton up here on crutches making a speech. I mean, I thought that was just amazing, you know. I mean, it's been difficult for the president. You know, he can't jog now, and he needs help getting around, and he still occasionally suffers great pain, you know. On the upside, you got your medical marijuana, so that's, you know. You must inhale, sir. It's the only way you're going to get better. It's...
apologize for running out earlier. I don't know if anybody saw that. But, you know, these things happen in live TV, and it reminds me actually of a maxim that Christopher Plummer told me many years ago. He said, before a live awards ceremony, do not eat a fistful of LSD. Take that with you.
Is it really my fault? 'Cause you try to hit me with your pity till I can't trust, but I still push on. Got me changing my ways, trying to fix it. Poison my.
I assume anyone smiling is on meth. Veterinarians in Colorado have reported that marijuana use is on the rise amongst dogs. They say you'll know if your dog is too high if it starts making a really tall sandwich.
They like sweets better
What's
when
that
they're high.
mean? Yes, I don't know.
In England, a woman was arrested for throwing a birthday party for her 16-year-old son that included marijuana, alcohol, and strippers. Now she's got even bigger problems. What to do for his 17th birthday.
Whatever.
The street drug Special K has been found to be an excellent treatment for depression. This according to the New England Journal of Gary Busey.
You know, dogs and humans love to run because it apparently gives them a natural high similar to that of marijuana, according to the University of Arizona. Wow. After running what are called cannabinoids, the chemical found in marijuana that gives you a feeling of euphoria, are higher in humans and dogs, and this encourages them to run again. To 7-Eleven for a Slurpee. A Papa John's delivery man has been arrested for allegedly selling more than $40,000 in cocaine hidden in pizza boxes.
Jesus.
To undercover police officers. This raises an important question. Where's all that pizza that was supposed to go in those boxes? Can I have them to eat? I'm a big fat guy.
A Florida University student was caught streaking on campus and apparently told police he was on acid and asked them to cut his dick off. Boy, these kids today are crazy. In my day, we didn't need drugs. We would just cut our own dicks off.
Yeah, you didn't need no fucking acid and shit. When did you gain the weight?
Well, I fluctuated a lot throughout my life. But
how did you gain it?
Eating and not exercising.
Would that be your natural weight, or do you have to fight that all the time?
Well, yeah, I think I have to fight it to a degree. Yeah.
And how did you lose the weight?
Cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine. Mostly, yeah, cocaine and other drugs, and very, very serious depression.
That helps me a lot, Dr. Oz.
Is that what I think it is?
I don't know. Do you think it's cocaine?
Yep.
Well, you're partly right. It's cocaine, and it's also a lot of baby laxative. So you might.
A couple minutes.
Yeah.
I'll be.
Be careful, because it burns like hell when the.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Thornton, man. How did you come to be on that episode of Norm MacDonald Live? Had you met him before, or what the heck? How did that happen? How'd it come about?
Yeah, I've known Norm over the years. Sure, yeah. Nice.
He's my favorite comic. You're one of my favorite actors.
I got to tell you, Norm is hilarious. It's hard to beat Norm.
You did that big arena tour, didn't you?
I did this. Me and Sandler and Spade, Schneider, Norm MacDonald, and
How funny is Norm MacDonald?
Oh, he's amazing. Ah, what?
Who's the funniest out of that group? Like
I don't know.
Can I speak from the outside? It's weird because like one night it's him, one night it's this thing about that's an all-star lineup right there, and Norm MacDonald is a funny motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I just watch. I don't watch comedy. I just watch clips of Norm MacDonald.
Yeah,
that's all I like.
Yeah,
I like Norm.
He's the best.
Yeah, Norm does it for me.
I haven't seen the show. I saw a couple episodes. It was pretty good.
Of the
I used to love
Netflix
that
show?
podcast.
It's the same thing, basically. Yeah.
But there's a magic to that podcast because it came out of nowhere.
Right.
You're just not expecting Norm to
It's the
have
best
a platform.
podcast ever.
That first season of the Norm MacDonald podcast was...
Yeah, it's the best podcast ever.
After that's number 1, Come Town number 2, Rad Dude Cast number 3.
This is you may get annoyed at this, but this one time I was listening to a bunch of old clips of Norm MacDonald, and Norm was talking about the Death Squad.
Oh,
Have you heard that?
He talks about me a lot. It is so fucking
But it's
funny.
weird. It's really
so
strange. It's like,
funny.
why the fuck does Norm MacDonald? Because he was like, Death Squad. It sounds like a fucking group of fist fighters, not a comedy crew. You're like, what?
He is so hilarious.
It's interesting. Here's what it is, though. To me,
he did a Death Squad show also. So
well, he's talking shit because he likes it, right? He likes to mock things. You only mock things as a comedian that you enjoy. Like when we shit on each other, we joke around about each other's shit. It's only because we fucking enjoy each other. Otherwise, there's no way to really know if you get along with someone if you can't joke around. And I think he does that because he recognizes it. But it's like from a distance, someone could be like, "Dude, he hates those guys." It's like, the fact that he knows it is even more important. To me, it's like, that's fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a show, I did a Death Squad show in Denver at the Comedy Works. And
Such a good club.
He was there like the following day. But he came early, and he was just checking out the show, and it was right before we were about to start. And I'm like, he's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And I'm like, "Hey, if you want to jump on the show," he's like, "What is it?" He's like, "So it's Death Squad show." And he goes, "What the?" But he used to do it when I first told him about it. Said, like,
Death
I think
that sound like a comedy.
He's so hilarious.
Yeah,
no, I better not say that.
Say it. Don't not say it. Don't not say it. The name of this episode is going to be "Don't Not Say It."
Okay.
Come on.
One of the most funniest things about this is so mean, but one of the funniest things about Norm is like. He really helped me out with my hygiene, hair hygiene.
Yeah.
Because that night when I was like talking to him, I look over to him and he had like literally a black like spite, like it looked like a bush, like a woman's 70s bush coming out of his ear hair.
He had a pussy ear?
And it freaked me out. So that night I went home to one of those like hotel mirrors that's really close up.
Right.
I look and I had like 2 of them. I'm like, oh my God, no one told me about this. And so now I've always wanted to like tell him like,
tell him that
man,
he was the inspiration.
Like, you got like a quarter-sized bush hanging.
Well, now I hope he sees this and hears this.
I feel bad.
The Death Squad guy says I got a lot of ear hair. Fuck him.
But
Man.
wouldn't you want somebody to tell you?
Honestly, dude, most of us probably want somebody to tell us, but for the most part, we're so embarrassed about these shortcomings that you're like, please don't let me know about that fucking shit.
So now I'm freaked out about that and nose hairs.
That's funny. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
If a comedian can't take a joke about that shit, I mean, we're in deep shit.
Have you met Norm MacDonald before?
I got to work with Norm, and I guess I mean I hope he doesn't mind if I tell him because this is a very endearing.
Last Comic Standing.
No, I did.
Right?
I did the season before.
Okay.
But I got to work with him one week, and we.
What did you do?
Oh man, I watched every single set he did, and it was so cool. And we actually got. You know what? I already got into the story, so I got to tell. But
let's hear it. Yeah, that's fine.
He wanted to get high.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I don't really get high before shows, but afterwards, cool. And
Sure.
he's like, no, now.
Well, when Norm MacDonald says now,
right? You say yes.
Yeah.
Correct. And he goes and hands me the joint, and I was like, okay. And then he hands it back for a second hit, and I was like, no thanks. And he goes, what's your problem? And I go, well, I'm just worried I'm going to repeat a joke, and I still have to go up and bring you up because the opener was on,
right?
And I was hosting, so I still have to go up there and bring you up. And I just don't. I already did some jokes earlier, and I just don't want to tell the same joke again. And he goes, that's insane. You're an idiot. Smoke this. And so I smoked it, and then we go inside, and I'm so high. I go, I'm just going to bring you up. I'm not going to do any time. I'm just going to bring you up. And he's like, no, do a couple minutes. And I go, no, please, just let me just bring you up. And he goes, no, do 5 minutes. This guy's doing really well. Give me, take a little, do a little time in between.
you need a little buffer between comics.
Yeah. Right. I said, okay. So I went up there, and I was so high, I was like, I don't even remember what I said in the first half of my set, so I'm just going to tell jokes that I haven't told in years. And when I told a joke...
so you told the audience, you let the audience in on the fact that you had been...
No, the audience didn't know.
They didn't
know. So I would just tell...
okay. Oh, so you just said that to yourself, I'm just going to do jokes I haven't done in 5 years.
Yes, and I walked on stage, and I would tell a joke, and then I would watch the audience, and if they laughed, I would relax and go, okay, that one down. And I did that the whole set. It was horrible. I was so stressed out. And then I just said, ladies and gentlemen, Norm MacDonald. And I look over to my right, and there he is walking the opposite way. and the feature turned him around and pointed him to the stage.
Over here, Norm.
That's how high we got by accident.
By accident, like you tripped on a joint. Right. But I mean,
I love the peer pressure from Norm, though. That's awesome. It's like a high school and middle school all over again.
And he's my hero, so I just, for me, I was a little worried about him. But then he walked on stage and he opened it up with this great bit, and he was crushing.
Right.
He was destroying. And then he got the light, And then he started to wrap it up, and he started to tell the joke he opened with. And I started to freak out. Like I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
And the audience thought it was a joke. They thought he was being Norm.
Sure.
But when he delivered the punchline, and it was the same punchline, they realized he had just forgotten his joke, and they didn't laugh. They felt a little betrayed, and he walked off stage in complete confusion. And
that bit usually kills.
And then the feature goes, "You told the same joke twice, you idiot." And he goes, "No." And then he looks at me and he goes, "This is your fault." And I never got to work with him again. That was the last time I worked with Norm.
But you know what? With Norm Macdonald, though, that's Norm. He's so irreverent that
you'd almost expect it.
He can do that.
Yeah.
And all this, that's a bit in itself. I mean, look at the cauliflower joke he did on the roast of Bob Saget.
Yeah.
That bit, he purposely went up there on that roast and bombed on purpose.
Yeah.
And it was genius.
Yeah.
And have you heard that bit?
Watch Norm Macdonald roast. Who was he roasting?
It was Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Your head looks like a cauliflower or something like that. I'm not going to do the bit, but yeah, go back and.
New songs on the radio sounding fake. Friends and jealousies for better anyway.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm Macdonald.
Yes.
This might go off the rails really fast.
I
type
mean,
of guys.
yeah. I mean, Norm Macdonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that no, Norm Macdonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, "Hey, Bill, tell me, well, and remember I was living in Chestnut Hill once," and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, "Norm, what are you up to?" And I mean, really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, "Well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan." I'd be like, "Really? You purchased a?" Yeah. I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters. And I'm like, "You have 3 daughters?" "Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, kind of. Well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly." And I'd be like, "Well, one day this traveling salesman comes to the farm." And he says, now, Norm, I tell you. And then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah.
But
about halfway through where it's going.
I mean, I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that, no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes, we call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually?
You know what?
We could just queue it up on command.
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw You saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, "Oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith." And I'll think that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
and I'm like 85 now. Like, how is that possible?
My favorite story of all time is Pistorius.
Oh, yes, yes.
The runner.
Tell who Pistorius is.
Well, you know who Pistorius is.
No, but for the viewers that don't know.
Pistorius doesn't know.
Well, the viewers that don't know.
But hadn't you already started filming this movie long before that whole controversy began?
Yeah.
So what do you make of all this?
What do I make of it?
Yeah, what's the point?
The point of
they're
what?
trying to make, you know.
Who?
So
you got to explain to the people.
No, they read the papers. They know.
Yeah, they know.
What about that Dormer? This guy who killed the cops?
Yeah, explain to the folks.
I don't want to explain anything. If you're going to say that after everything I say, I'm going to leave.
No, I've heard people say that.
This is the cheapest thing I've ever been involved in.
No, I've heard people say that.
If I didn't love you, I would be so gone now. I can't tell you.
Tell the folks at home who Jim Downey is.
Oh, he's the late writer. No, Jim was a writer on SNL back like the beginning.
Yeah. That was one of the things I love so much is that Mulaney. I heard that Mulaney would write all the stuff for Stefan.
Tell the folks at home who Mulaney is.
John Mulaney.
The comeback kid.
You know, I went to a tennis match in Indian Wells.
Yeah.
And I saw Rafael Nadal play. He's my favorite.
Rafael Nadal. Explain to the folks who Rafael Nadal is.
Oh my God.
He was a manufacturer of turkey coops.
Now, can you explain to the folks at home what a turkey coop is?
It's basically it's a 100.
I think that if Kim Kardashian were to go to Vegas, she could do Carrot Top's act and take things out of her ass. Am I going to have to explain everything to you?
No, to the folks. Explain who Kim Kardashian is.
Never mind.
Mr. Reiner, FBI, may we come in? Oh, absolutely, gentlemen. I'm in my shorts. I was just woken up. They wanted to know if I knew.
Explain to the folks what the FBI is.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation.
How would you describe your comedy? Tell the folks at home.
Why would you ask me the worst question in radio to describe my comedy?
No, but tell the folks
Why
at
don't
home.
you describe Blue to the audience?
I'm going to tell you the greatest talk show in the history of talk shows was Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas.
And his co-host was Sly.
Now, people are going to think that's Michael Douglas. You should probably explain to the folks.
Well, who's watching? Is this in the United States?
Well, I'll explain to the
folks. No, don't explain everything.
Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas just take everything out of it. There's no sense being here. And the door's going to open, and there's the Pope. There's the Pope. That's the Pope.
We should explain to the folks that was Michael Jackson.
Let's explain. Yeah, explain who Michael Jackson is to the people.
Everyone knows Michael Jackson. What are you retarded?
You asked for some stories about Norm MacDonald and Bob Saget, and the odd part about it is that if I had known they would die as young as they did, I would have really taken notes. I mean, I remember one time, like every time I had lunch with Norm, I would let him pay. I wouldn't put in a dime. And then one time we went out to lunch, and he waited for me to put at least $1 in. And I said, come on. Why ruin the tradition? And so he put the money in again. And I remember one time doing Norm's podcast, and it was like the two of us were just going crazy and laughing, and it was like insane. And then afterwards we went to dinner, joined by Bob Saget and Jeffrey Ross. And that was like just nonstop laughing and joking. I mean, I think that dinner, if we had been secretly filmed, that would have been an award-winning comedy special. But so I still miss Norm and I still miss Bob. And, but I'm sure they're happy to have like fans like you who still remember them.
On the subject of SNL, and it's sweet when you took over for Norm, and Gilbert and I haven't said anything. Gilbert, I don't know, have you spoken publicly since Norm passed about him, Gil?
I don't know if I.
We haven't said anything on this show, which we would like to do now. You both knew him well, but the bartender speech when you took over, and obviously it was a very awkward period for you.
Oh God!
To be stepping into that role and also a friend's job.
Yes, yeah. It was like we lived in the same building too.
You know how you go to your favorite bar, and your local bartender isn't there? You ask, "Where's Jeff?" Jeff no longer works here. I'm Steve. And you're thinking, "Hey, who's this idiot? I like Jeff." But you still want your drink? And even though Steve doesn't mix your drink the same way you're used to, like Jeff, you still like the bar. You don't have to go to a different bar. And even Steve might feel kind of bad because Jeff trained him.
Did he ever say anything to you about that? Did he ever give you a blessing?
He was so no, but he was so classy in not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all.
You have that great I'm Steve, what can I get you?
Yeah.
The bartender piece.
Well, I'm Steve. What can I get you?
But I wish it would have stayed the way it was. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, Norm is he's so funny. He was so distinctively funny. You know?
Nobody liked him, really.
No, he had his own thing. You know what I mean? He was just very, well, like Gilbert. I mean, they just have their own, they march to their own drummer, even in a business where everybody marches to their own drummer. They both have that, you know, idiosyncratic thing where it just be like, this is how I am, and that's it. And it's great. But, you know, you have to tune to their frequency. You know, it's not like you can just, you know.
You know what's funny about that first update you did? Here's Norm being fired, as we all know, by Don Ohlmeyer,
right?
Because of cutting too close to the bone with the OJ jokes. When in fact he was doing a public service by telling those OJ jokes. And I'm watching you do your first update. There's an OJ joke. It's like the third joke.
Yeah.
In the February issue of Esquire magazine, O.J. Simpson said that if I had killed Nicole, it would have been because I loved her very much. And then he said, and if I had killed Ron Goldman, it would have been because he accidentally witnessed me loving Nicole very much. Somebody should buy this guy a John Gray book, all right?
You shook his hand once? O.J.? Getting out of a car?
Well,
he was getting out of a limo?
He was getting out of a limo middle of the afternoon, and I have no psychic energy. I've never had those kinds of things, you know. But for whatever reason, this was in an afternoon. He's getting out of a limo with a girl. It's spring break. It's packed with people. It's Florida. And they're like, hey, do you want to meet OJ? I go, yeah, OJ, he's greatest running back of all time. You know, great, charming movie star. I shake his hand. He shakes my hand. And he's not even looking at me. He's looking past me. And he shakes my hand. And I felt like a jolt of, like, evil. I swear to God.
It's like the Dead Zone.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like. And I was like, I go, that was weird, OJ. I love OJ. Well, that was weird energy, you know.
Wow. So you picked up on something.
I feel like I did, you know. It's, of course, in retrospect. But I remember telling people at the time, so.
I was also fond of, going back to your SNL bits, Colin Quinn explains the New York Times.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the St. Pat's editorial and Joe Blow. You look like you were having fun, and the best stuff is you and Norm together.
That's right. That's right.
There's obviously an affection that comes across on the screen.
Yes, yeah. And that was the early days of it. It was great.
I'm sorry we never managed to get him here. We tried, and for whatever reason, he was as elusive as you.
He's more elusive. He's like,
he was.
I love to do it. I'd love to. You're like, oh, good. How about next week? Yes. What day? And you're like, okay. Yeah. He's like, all right, call him and we'll set it up. Next week is perfect because I'm doing this. And you're like, hey, I'll say Norm. Years later, what happened? What? I thought I was going to come on your show. What happened? It's like, oh, Jesus, Norm.
Well, like you say, march to his own drum.
Yeah.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was a broken apart by you.
Oh, I remember meeting OJ at a party years ago, and it turns out he was a fan.
Uh-oh.
And he did an imitation of me, and to this day, I wish I had like that on film.
Of
Because it would be like Charles Manson doing an imitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which brings us to two notable comedians and two friends of Gilbert's. And Gilbert, you might have to do the driving on this one. Let's start with the late great Norm.
Yeah, I remember doing Norm's podcast, and as always, it turned with any of my comic friends who would turn like deranged.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very funny with that. He'd always talk with like a sneer, It's like and I remember right after I put that photo up a few times. It's one of my favorite photos. Afterwards, after doing Norm's show, Norm and I joined Jeff Ross and, of course, Bob Saget.
Yeah.
And I remember that being a night of just nonstop laughs.
You could tell even from the still photo that you guys were ripping it up.
Yeah, it was just so much fun.
Truly original. I never met him. It's funny. I'm in comedy a long time, and I know a million comedians, and I've gotten to work with a million comedians, and for some reason our paths never crossed. And we wanted to get him on this show, Gil, as you know.
Yes.
And he was Norm. So he was strangely strangely hard to pin down, or non-committal, or could do it and then couldn't do it, and.
I can't. I don't really know. I know I'm working.
One of the truly great comic minds, though, and his last appearance on Letterman, where he got so emotional, and in ways it sounds corny. I felt I knew him through his work, and obviously a lot of mutual friends. That Letterman appearance, really.
Gil, your appearance on his podcast, that whole podcast was so good. It was, and so funny.
Yeah, let's not diminish that, Gilbert. It made history, your appearance, and also the Einstein episode.
Yeah.
With Norm.
Yeah, I remember when I was on Norm's podcast. Afterwards, I just felt like I ran a marathon. It was just got crazier and crazier.
Netflix owns that show now, and they're not available to the public, unfortunately, and they're sitting on them. Hopefully one day it would be great if that podcast was re-released, because
there's that Bob Einstein episode is also legend.
Yep.
What can you say about the guy? I mean, a really rare, truly original comic voice.
Really,
and I love
such
Kurt
a
Ferguson
loss.
more than life itself.
By the way, Norm's book, based on a true story, not a memoir, which is so funny. The audio book, he narrates it. So if you miss Norm and you've never heard him reading his book, it's brilliant.
Now I got to get it. Yeah, I regret never meeting the man. And Gilbert,
Same.
I'm glad you had such wonderful times with him.
Yes, he was a lot of fun.
It's a big loss. It's a loss for this
podcast,
just
like a total smartass.
Yeah, I wish our paths had crossed.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. I wish that you would come around.
So let's move on to Bob. Last but not least, which was a blow and not expected. And I will say that I had just reached out to Bob. We just recorded our 400th episode a couple of days ago, Gilbert and I reached out to Bob and I said, will you come and do this with us? And he said, I think I'm on a plane that night. And we were going back and forth and trying to arrange something. And then I sent him the link, which has been shared online. I sent him the link to Don Rickles' estate auction. Did you see that?
Oh yeah,
They
I
posted
bid on a couple things.
You bid on a couple of things,
and I got none of them.
Bob's face was on a couple of items that like there was pictures of them together and a poster or something. And I said, "Hey, you might want to bid on some of these things." And he wrote me back and he said that this just makes me sad, actually. And he said, "But life goes on." And I had said to my wife, "I have to call Bob. I have to text Bob. We moved the date of the 400th episode," and I got a phone call from my sister-in-law probably 20 minutes later telling me she just heard that he was gone. It was very shocking, and still is.
And I had just spoken to Bob like a few days before he died. And we were on the phone, and as always, the minute anything turned at all sincere or serious, we turn it to just complete filth and make it reverse, and it was always fun. And it was like, I always remember, like, when the Aristocrats came out, people were saying, "Can you believe Bob Saget talks like that?" And to people who knew him, they said, we couldn't believe he could speak any other way.
It wasn't Danny Tanner.
No.
I didn't know him that well. I certainly didn't know him as well as Gilbert, but but that was part of him. But there was such a gentleness to the guy.
Yes.
Too. I mean, his humor was so edgy and so dark and so it could be so scatological, as you'll hear because we're rerunning the second episode that we did with him. But he didn't want to injure. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He was very, very, very sensitive guy. Did he always tell you that he loved you before he hung up the phone, Gilbert?
Yes.
As Dara shared with me, there was a real kindness to him that you couldn't miss.
And I remember I got a call from Jeff Ross who said, "Oh, sad news, Bob Saget died." And I swear, I thought, "Oh, this is going to be a funny, sick joke." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I was waiting for the punchline. And then he said, "No, seriously, he died." And I still have a hard time grasping that.
It's a gut punch. It really is. You Gilbert you made the rounds. You went on CNN. You went on television. You said some lovely things about him. But 65. I mean, it's too young. It's too big a loss for.
And it seemed like he was another one starting out again. Like he did a live show.
Yeah.
And he was really excited to be getting back to live performing. And
going back to the second podcast with him, and he started that podcast, Bob Saget's Here For You. And it did seem like he was entering another phase of his career and another phase of his life. It seemed like he was more wistful and trying more to be of service. I mean, that's why he was pleasant to be around. There really was no show business at all to the guy.
Yeah.
And he struck me, again, didn't know him well, but he struck me as also having a sadness about him. Do you think that, Gil, did you feel that?
Yeah.
A depth and a sadness about him.
And he also, he had two sisters who died.
Yeah, that's right.
One from scleroderma, which was a charity he did loads of work for.
Yes, to his credit.
And see, there's another thing that shows that what I've always said about comedy and tragedy. He made, I remember being with him a few times where he made jokes about his sister. Really deranged stuff. But then you see, he loved his sister.
Of course.
And his family was totally traumatized by it. But he could just be completely sick. I think if you could communicate with the dead and get in touch with Bob Saget, he would make completely bad taste jokes about his own death. He was that kind. He would just really
staying true to his art to the end.
Yes.
To the bitter end. It's a big loss for us personally, for Gilbert and Jeff and Stamos and obviously a lot of his friends and fans.
And I put up a photo too. I was on the beach with Jeff, and we're holding up a phone, and on the phone is Bob Saget, because we're sitting on the beach and said, "Hey, let's call Bob."
I saw the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much else we can add. Rest in peace, Bob.
Earlier today, the biggest auction ever of Beatles memorabilia took place in Tokyo. Among the one-of-a-kind items on the block were Paul McCartney's birth certificate, a white Mercedes-Benz owned by John Lennon, and rarest of all, a photo of George Harrison not looking haggard. Have you ever seen one when you think about it? In a recent interview, Paul McCartney confessed that Bob Dylan turned the Beatles on to marijuana. In return, George Harrison turned Dylan on to looking old and haggard.
I've never seen a picture of George Harrison not haggard. He's somewhere, he's be-haggard. He's like beleaguered and haggard. Like he's haggard with a beleaguered Be-haggard? thought. Yeah.
The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes. And now, Weekend Update would like to wish a happy birthday to comic legend George Burns, who turned 100 years old today. You know, I don't know the secret to his longevity, but I think I speak for all of us when I say I hope Pauly Shore doesn't know it either. Well, a big seller this holiday season is Michael Bolton's Christmas album, This Is the Time. Happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Well, I don't know. This week, the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, turned 81 years old, and he was honored by having the Empire State Building lit in blue. Also, in Mr. Sinatra's honor, the Empire State Building had the Twin Towers rough up the Chrysler Building. Frank Sinatra turned 80 this week. Frank Sinatra. And although the singer is said to be suffering from Alzheimer's, he had a typically festive birthday, singing a duet with a hooker and having sex with Tony Bennett. Probably going to end up in Jersey with a meat hook up my ass, but it was a good joke.
Celebrating April 1st birthdays, this is a sort of news thing. Russian pianist Sergei Rachmaninoff, who was born on this day in 1872.
Yeah, I know that dude.
Rapper Method Man is 41. Debbie Reynolds turns 80 today. Rachel Maddow is 39. And former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt would have been 95 today. April Fools, former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt is alive and well.
In England, a woman was arrested for throwing a birthday party for her 16-year-old son that included marijuana, alcohol, and strippers. Now she's got even bigger problems. What to do for his 17th birthday.
Whatever. Kim and Kanye celebrated their baby Northwest's, his name's Northwest, his 1-year birthday by throwing a big party. What's that?
It's a her.
Oh, it's a girl. Yeah, Northwest, of course. I should have known by the name. Anyway, she had her 1-year birthday, and they threw a big party with jugglers, a bouncy house, and a Ferris wheel. The bad news is that Northwest is a baby, so it doesn't know what the fuck is going on. It's like a Gilbert Gottfried joke.
Okay. Today is the 11th birthday of President Obama's youngest daughter, Sasha, or as I like to call her, the uppity one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm a regular mortal.
Super Dave Osborne on the line.
I was going to ask you to phone Super Dave. Yeah.
How's it going, Super Dave? Hey,
Happy birthday, Norm.
Is it my birthday?
It's tomorrow your birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday. That's why I'm calling.
Super
you know
Dave.
I got you? A picture of Sarah Palin's husband.
Oh.
And I had to make the X very big.
That's good.
Oh, no one asked you to comment what's good.
No, I
You know what makes me upset?
What?
Let me tell you, mate, what makes me upset is with all the crap that's going on in our country, OJ is not going to be able to vote. You know, McCain thinks that Obama was driving the Bronco.
Oh, he gave you a rim shot,
Yeah,
Super Dave.
that's right.
I know, that's what he does. He gives me a rib. Norm, happy birthday. You know how funny this guy is?
Yeah, I do.
He's the greatest. What's he doing in Chicago?
What are you doing in
Hey,
Chicago?
You know who's lucky or Fox? They got Philadelphia and Tampa Bay.
Philadelphia and Tampa.
That might be right below till death do us part.
Once again, the stylings of Super Dave Osborne. Super Dave Osborne with Norm MacDonald in the studio. Norm MacDonald at Zanies. Go to Zanies.com for more information. Back to Super Dave, already in progress. Hey, are you voting for Joe the Plumber, Super Dave?
Joe the Plumber. That was the most insane. You know what? I think that McCain, I mean, first of all, he's not the same McCain I used to see. I mean, but he's a totally different man. I mean, I think he's wild. Even his wife doesn't stand too close to him now at the end. But I think there's a trigger word like banana where you get him to come right over the desk.
He did look angry.
Didn't he look angry last night? And his eyes were rolling, and he almost came. And what I love is when Obama's talking, he goes, "Yep, sure, yeah, okay."
He did. But I thought McCain won the debate, but everybody else.
He did, but he was wild.
Yeah, he was
He
insane.
came in there, he was white. It was like one of those fights where you beat a guy up on the ground, you know, those things.
No, he won. So you believe he did win the debate, right? I thought he made Obama look uncomfortable, I thought.
Yeah, but...
Well, I was uncomfortable, too. How did you not be uncomfortable?
Well, let me hear something here.
Senator Obama, I am not President Bush. I don't care about an old washed-up terrorist. If you wanted to run against President Bush, you should have run 4 years ago.
Why would he call him a washed-up terrorist?
You know what would have been funny is if when he said, "Do you think Sarah Palin could be president," that all of them just laughed till the debate was over?
I tell you, they should have had that music. I think Bob Schaefer, though, is the best moderator. I was saying that.
He really is, except he fell asleep once.
During it.
But yeah, he kept forcing them to answer the question.
You know that if Sarah Palin and Dan Quayle had a baby, it would be George W. Bush.
Super Dave, you gotta keep this stuff for Match Game.
Match Game?
Why did you bring that
Now, wait a minute. What are you talking about? No, tell me. Norm, tell me.
You know what? I'll tell you something, Johnny. I'm never calling you again. And Norm, I love. First of all, Norm is the funniest man in the world, and he's a great father, but he's impossible to get a hold of.
I just got a hold of him.
Yeah, but he never calls you back. You leave messages, and he never calls you back.
No, we got to get together, though, man.
No. You always say that, and we always do, and we never do.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, Super Dave? This will pay. Now it makes perfect sense to me. I hear this about you, Norm. That Super Dave, I don't believe he's telling. I don't think he's embellishing. I think he's telling the truth.
No, I am telling the truth. Let me tell you something. How old are you going to be tomorrow?
46.
He doesn't have a driver's license.
He doesn't drive. Now,
What does that say to you?
A lot of people are like that.
Okay, no, they're not. A lot of people aren't like that.
If you're 96, what about opening the debates last night with all the crap that is going on?
Wait, let's go back to the match game. All right, now here he is. It's time now for Super Dave. This question is: Norm MacDonald does not blank. All right.
This is the way you want to play
No,
it.
I don't want to play. No.
This is the way we'll play it,
All right, Super, wait a minute.
This is the way we're going.
Super
from
Dave,
now on,
Super
pal.
Dave, I want to agree with what you said about Norm MacDonald here in the studio. I want to tell you what I think. I heard that he has not spoken to his own brother in 5 years.
That's ridiculous.
Well, then sometimes you take a break.
No, wait, true or false? Have you spoken to your brother? You have two brothers, right?
Yeah.
One of them is in Canada. Both are in Canada, right?
One's in Washington, one's in Canada.
You have not spoken to your brother. Is it Neil, is it?
What are you
Is it true or false? Is it true or false? We're talking with Norm MacDonald, actor, writer, producer, stand-up comedian. Super Dave Osborne one time said, I can never get him to return calls. His brother Neil MacDonald, who lives in a farm town in Quebec City, says he has never returned his calls in 5 years.
That's ridiculous.
Is that true, Neil?
Listen, I'm a Canadian reporter living in Washington, D.C. I'm used to not getting my calls returned.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing?
That's your brother, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Super Dave, his brother, Neil, answer the question to see if, so Super Dave will not feel bad. Neil, have you spoken to Norm, your brother, in the last 5 years?
I haven't spoken to Norm in a long time. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get your calls returned.
Wait, Super Dave.
That.
See, I always think Super Dave's kind of lying.
So Super Dave's first name is Super?
Yes.
So, like, if I called myself Great Neil, you'd have to call me...
You know, Neil, there's a reason he hasn't talked to you in 5 years. Because you bore the living crap out of him. Now, let me tell you this. The Queen of England is walking with an administrator in the hospital.
What?
I said the Queen of England is walking with an administrator in a hospital. She walks by a room, and a man is masturbating. She said, oh, my God, what's going on? He said, well, he has a problem. It's a physical problem, and if he doesn't do that 5 times a day, he could explode and die. She said, oh, I'm sorry. Then they go to the second floor, where she walks by a room, a nurse is giving a man oral sex. She says, oh, my God, what's wrong? He said he's got the same problem as the guy on one, but better insurance.
All right.
No, but if that was in Canada, the government would provide it.
See that? You know who should hook up?
Norm, wait another 5 years. I'm telling you, that's what he does. If he comes back with that Canadian crap, don't talk to him.
Now, listen, here's what I want to know. I want to know how a guy... You're 46, are you, Norm?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know how a guy who was born 46 years ago in Quebec City and grew up in the same house I did acquired a Brooklyn accent. What the hell? Where'd that come from?
Oh, do I have a Brooklyn accent?
I don't know, but your brother now is dogging you. Super Dave is correct.
And I'm seeing him on Bill O'Reilly. Norman is one of the 37 Americans left who still think George Bush is doing a great job.
Wow.
I do?
No wonder you haven't talked to your brother in 5 years.
No, I think...
Someone just drop an anchor off the boat. Weren't we sailing in comedy heaven and someone came on and just dropped the Canadian anchor?
I'm not a
off the side of the
professional
boat?
comedian. I'm very funny, though. I'm a very funny guy.
Well, why don't you show it? What are you waiting for? How old are you?
No, I think George Bush is terrible.
Wait, let's go here.
No, George Bush is not terrible. Terrible is one thing. George Bush has to climb up to be terrible.
Super Dave Osborne with
what
us.
do you want?
Norm MacDonald in the studio, and his brother Neil just joined us.
Any other family members that can really make this a party?
Listen, it's great. It's great being on the same line with you there, Super. I watch you on Larry David. I think it's pretty funny.
Oh, then I like you. I take it.
Oh! Look at that. He loves him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and now he's a fan.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Big fan of Neil MacDonald's, are you?
I can tell you how to get
back down another 5 years.
I can tell you how to get the CBC's news show online there, Super. You can watch it on your computer. I'm sure you will.
Thank you very much. Are you a sheltered person like Norm is?
No.
But you know what? Can I say something about Norm that no one knows?
I spend all my days trying to get people to call me back here. I mean, I'm one of these ignored.
Quiet down, Neil. I'm talking.
Super Dave is talking.
Great father.
No, Super Dave is yelling.
I'm telling you that. How else am I going to make my point? Norm is a great father. I don't know if you know that. I'm serious.
I do. And Dylan's a great boy. He looks a lot like Norm did when he was young. That same sort of angelic blonde thing going there, you know.
Okay, take over the show and I'll quiet down. Let's see what happens.
Just a second one.
See if Johnny,
yeah, go
if
ahead.
Johnny loses the call letters totally.
No, but Super.
What?
Neil actually lives in Washington. He doesn't live in Canada.
I'm going to Canada in 2 weeks.
But he lives in Washington.
I haven't lived in Canada for 10 years. Why do you live in Washington? Because I'm a foreign correspondent for Canadian television. Oh, that's a good job.
Yeah, Norm, that is right, Super Dave. It is a good job.
I said it's a good job.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
You didn't mean it.
I did mean it. You know, no one asked you to interpret for me.
I'm just kidding.
This
I'm
is
hurt.
not the match game, my friend.
The match game with Super Dave Osborne. The match game. Neil MacDonald, Washington, D.C. Norm's older brother is a blank.
Hey, Norm, why don't you call me back?
Is a blank. Super Dave, he is a blank.
Norm, why don't you call? Hey, Berta says happy birthday, too. Why don't you call me back?
Oh, give my love to Berta, man. We'll go eat.
Yeah, let's go eat.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll talk about your brother.
Yeah, Super Dave said he's going to go eat with me like 90 years ago. I've never even met him.
Oh, no kidding. He always says that. That's his line. That's Super's line.
Well, it is
Let's
fair.
go eat,
Yeah.
and then you never get a dinner. You're like Red Buttons, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And Red Buttons is dead, Norm.
You're like
Red Buttons was waiting for Super to fucking...
Right.
And I never got a dinner.
You know what's funny?
What?
It's not funny. It's not funny.
I'm hurting and I'm angry.
Americans
No, but this is
are hurting.
not funny,
Right
but
now,
hurting.
they're angry. They're hurting and they're angry.
We're hurting.
They're angry.
We're angry?
They're hurting.
I'm hurting.
Americans, all right.
I'm hurting.
They're angry.
And I'm angry. We are. We're all hurting and we're angry by all of this.
You know, Norm and I were going to do a radio show,
That's right.
but then Neil wouldn't be a part of it, so we said no.
Neil, why don't you help those guys out with their radio show? Norm, Super Dave, and Neil MacDonald.
Yeah, that's just what they need.
They do. Hey, listen, do you want to say happy birthday to your brother here?
Yeah, you know, Neil sounds like a good guy. How come you never call him?
Yeah, why don't you ever call your brother? Norm, it's terrible. That's terrible.
No, I'm going to start texting.
No, what?
You do that.
Wait.
I hate that so much.
I
He
want to
doesn't
be
have a
clear.
cell phone. He doesn't have a cell phone. That's nonsense.
You hate texting?
I hate texting. I hate it.
Hey.
I hate people walking around staring at their hand.
Welcome to the 21st century, buddy.
It is.
Yeah, come
I
on.
love texting.
Yeah.
You know why I like
Texting?
it's
Are
very
you kidding?
quick. Right to the point. Get to the point.
What's wrong with talking?
That's too much trouble. Too much trouble. Norm, wait a minute. You don't have a computer, do you? Or you don't drive a car?
No, I don't.
You don't have a computer?
I have a computer, but I don't.
Say happy birthday to Norm now.
Happy birthday. Berta says happy birthday. Teddy says happy birthday. And Lori Jo says happy birthday. And we hope to see you soon, but we know we won't because we'll call and you won't return our call.
You better return his call, Norm.
Yeah, why don't we have go to dinner?
Yeah.
But that's what I say, and then all I get is that stupid.
You like steak?
Leave a message.
How about you like steak, right?
Yeah, well, where do you want to go?
Houston's?
Let's do it.
Go to Houston's in Century City Plaza.
Yeah, you know that Houston?
Sure. Yeah, that's where you go.
Did you hear what Johnny B just said?
That's exactly where we're going.
That's when you got to go. To go to the one in Century City Plaza.
No, that's where we've gone before. That's why I'm so amazed that you said that. Whenever me and Super Dave get together, we get together at the Century City.
That's where we go.
But are you amazed that Johnny B just said that?
No, Johnny B never. I mean, he does things that amaze me all the time. I wish he was back on the air.
Hey, Super, because they have great food at that Houston's.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's
Artichoke
good food.
dip.
Artichoke dip. There you
Yeah.
go. Hey, Super, when you guys go, can I go with you guys?
You know how much fun that would be.
Oh man, but Neil's got to come though. Really?
Neil will wait on us.
Neil?
How would you like to have Neil as your waiter? I'll have steak. I wouldn't.
I'll have steak. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Oh God! All right, Super Dave Osborne and Norm MacDonald appearing
Happy
at
birthday,
Houston's.
And Norm, wish Neil a happy birthday if he has one. Okay.
Wait.
Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Now, as an old-timey broadcaster, do you have other old-timey broadcaster friends?
Well, Mike Wallace was a great friend. I love Mike. He did me on 60 Minutes, and it was really great. They were very laudatory. And he said to me, "We were so good to you, I'm going to kill the next three guys we do." Mike was a grand guy. I said, he had dementia at the end. That's funny to you, huh? You know, McDonald, I want to tell you.
No, it's a very odd thing to say.
If you're looking to broaden your horizons, I don't think it's wise to laugh at someone who had dementia.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing that you said.
He was
you
the best.
Just said
I loved him.
Mike Wallace was a great guy. He had
was,
dementia at the end.
He was sad that he had.
You didn't
Why
say
is that funny?
You said it as if that's what made him a great guy, was his raging dementia.
You're not hearing things well.
No. So how did
hearing things well.
How did you?
I made a face like it was sad. Not that he was great because of dementia.
No, but how did you know he had dementia?
Well, yeah, okay. I'll tell you how I knew. I went to his apartment in New York. He took my hand and he said, "You came to see me. You came to see, I can't believe that you came to see me." And then 10 minutes later, "You came to see me." And the amazing thing is, Carl Reiner said to me,
Did he hold your hand too?
Yeah, he goes like this. "The only problem I have is short-term memory loss. The only problem I have is short-term memory loss."
It must be especially...
There was a joke about a guy because it was such a good story. There's a guy who had surgery, and I can't remember the joke.
I can't either. And I did it last night.
I remember the punchline.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What was the punchline? Maybe
The punchline is
reverse engineer this
and
thing.
Monday morning, that man walked out of the hospital. And Thursday, he reached the parking lot. So I can't remember back up.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a punchline regardless.
Yeah, it almost works by itself. We got jokes written on cards. Do you want to read them? How's your reading?
I read well.
You read well? Well, read this
Why have you got that?
Huh? Just to,
just to fill in.
Whenever we have great comedians on the show.
What the hell is that joke now? I can't remember the...
Say the punchline again.
By Thursday, he reached the parking lot.
But Monday, he left
And Monday morning...
He left the building.
Monday morning...
He was allowed out of the hospital.
He walked out of the... no. What the hell? Is that funny not to remember the joke?
Yeah.
And
thank God that guy that stole it from you remembers it.
Gee whiz.
Or it'd be lost to history.
I can't remember the setup.
Well,
That's funny when the punch and you forget the setup.
Yeah, that should be.
Monday morning. He was...
Thought he had a stroke for a second.
He was in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember things from 10 years ago like that.
Yeah.
Don't you could remember things from childhood?
Yes.
I remember the street, walking down the street, remember my friends. You have terrible?
Yeah, terrible.
I had a good memory.
He can remember like when he was a kid, but he can't remember murdering that prostitute last night.
You can go to jail for that. It's a whole new law.
I've been told.
How old was she?
I don't remember.
No.
If you don't remember, you're not going to convict you.
Yeah.
Chris Kattan you didn't like.
Kattan's all right. We had, when you're in that, it's like I won't say it's like being in war, but when you're in a situation, everyone's fighting for themselves.
There's another great quick Norm story. Great quick Norm story.
Kid, Artie.
Well, Jim will appreciate that. They do a big Rolling Stone article about the Kansas City.
That was a great one, man.
They do a big Rolling Stone article about the cast.
I got
about
a good one.
What? So the cast of Saturday Night Live.
Right, yeah.
And it's everybody kissing each other's ass. So they ask Norm about Chris Kattan. And it's after pages of, I've never seen someone do better character work. Norm's quote is, he seems gay to me. He goes, I've never met a guy who said he wasn't gay. He seems so gay. But I guess he says he's not gay, so whatever.
Hey.
I love that.
What about Norm MacDonald? You're at war with him as well. You two don't like each other.
Warring with Norm?
Here's what Norm said.
Oh, good.
I got it for you.
Another one.
Chris and Norm MacDonald apparently hate each other. This is according to my notes. When Norm hosted Saturday Night Live, Chris did not appear on the show. Wow.
Wait, when was?
In November of '97.
Oh, right.
Norm said of Chris, I don't know, but to me he seems gay. He claims he's not, but I've never seen like a guy who's not gay seem so gay. I don't find him funny. What can I say? Never made me laugh. What happened between? First of all, I don't believe you're gay. Are you? I know someone you dated.
No, I'm not gay.
Yeah, you did.
And he's certainly
But it's
had
kinda-
to have laughed at you once or twice.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
a funny guy.
Right.
Well, that was the.
I mean, your
Rolling
characters.
Stone
Some of your
article.
characters are effeminate, so maybe people will think you're
Right,
gay.
like Mango's, like
he's gay.
Queer as day.
Right. So
and yeah.
So is Norm a homophobe? Is that the problem? He doesn't like gay
definitely
characters?
think he has a problem with
But give me the history of this. I love feuds.
Okay, let's see. What is, I don't know
You
exactly.
didn't appear on the show for a reason. You just
No. I don't. I just think I didn't get my sketches in. It wasn't like I'm not appearing in the show.
And when you're on Saturday Night Live, I've heard this before. When you say you didn't get your sketches in, you have to write your own material. If you don't get it in, if
it doesn't pass muster,
then you're not on the show.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, every week.
So do you have to hire separate guys to help you write material?
No. I mean they're there. There's there's people you write with normally. So
right. Okay. Because I've heard some people don't help other people. You know.
No, some people don't.
Right.
But I'm not. Because I'm not exactly the easiest guy to write for, though. I'm not like. I'm not an everyman. I can't be the boyfriend all the time. I'm more of a freak.
So why Norm Macdonald? I mean, Norm is an easygoing guy. I know Norm. Why the dislike? Something happened.
Well, let's see. When I first got on the show, he was so nice. He and Spade,
right,
were just like so nice. And then I don't know what happened. He just started. Like
Disliking
Garth
him.
Brooks was, we did like a pitch meeting, and he started saying things in the pitch meeting like you don't want to do. Like Garth Brooks was a guest.
Yeah.
Was a guest. I was like, I'm sure you don't want to do another fag sketch. Like things like that. People would laugh.
Oh dear.
I was like, why is he saying?
All
why
of
does
this.
And then it got kind of old. Like Jesus, Norm, you're like another.
And it makes you inhibited in a writing meeting if someone's goofing on you every time you open up your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't care because I'm not gay. If I was like, some gay guy going, I don't want anyone to know that I'm this
right. And so the gay jokes kept going and going and going.
Yeah, the gay jokes kept going and going.
And then you finally said, hey, I've had it with you, Norm.
Well,
Did you ever confront him?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but it's like a playful thing. He says it's like a Jack Benny, Fred Allen, kind of a feud thing.
But you don't see it that way.
No, I think he's I don't know. But he this is what happened. We were on a flight together. We didn't plan on being together on the same flight. We were flying from LA back to New York to do Saturday Night Live, and it was a red eye, and he's behind me, and we're getting along, whatever. He's talking about crapping on women, or I don't know what he was talking about, something like that.
Yeah,
and it was funny because he was so loud,
right?
So everyone else could hear it. I'm like, there's crap on this girl.
Yeah,
and I'm like, laughing,
right?
Because he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
And then I wake up. And, because it's a red eye, and one of my shoes is missing. And I was like, where's my shoe? And Norm's like, hey, you lost your shoe, huh? And then he leaves. And I'm like, so disoriented. And I'm the last guy in the flight looking for my shoe. And I just, walk off the plane with one shoe. And all the stewardess is like, you are funny.
Oh, no. So he stole your shoe.
He stole my shoe.
And he's playing goofs on you. He's not respecting you.
Right.
Right.
And then I took his jacket on a really cold night.
Yes.
And his assistant called me at home going, I got to get Norm's jacket. Please get me Norm's jacket. And she was like freaking out.
Right.
I was like, no, this is between Norm and I.
You can't play in this game. Right. Chauncey Hayden, you're on the air.
Hey, Howard, how's it going?
All right.
I've interviewed Chris before. He's a good guy. Chris.
Thank you.
Is it not true that Jim Brewer, your former cast member, had a problem with you as well?
I think at one point he thought I stole an idea from him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So, man, there's so much infighting. You got to admit.
But that's it, though.
Really?
That's not much for like 6 years.
With a lot of the cast members, and I think with Chris, do you remember that Rolling Stone cover came out, and they only put certain members of SNL on the cover?
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Didn't that cause a lot of strife inside?
Yeah, well...
Why, they only chose certain amount of people for the cover. It was you.
Right, it was Will, me, Molly Shannon, and Sherry O'Terry.
And you did the cover, and the rest of the cast felt like, hey, what are we, garbage?
What is this?
But why be mad at you?
It was because of our characters, too. It was like there was the cheerleaders.
You were the breakout guys.
Roxbury guys.
Right.
And Mary Catherine.
But aren't they mad or jealous because you guys broke out and they didn't? And don't they think that you should stick up for them and insist that they be on the cover as well? But you don't have that kind of juice.
No, what are we gonna?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's only makes sense that they would be on the cover, but what are we gonna do? I mean, Norm wanted to be. There's a big stink because he wanted to be on the cover
by himself.
Yeah,
really?
No, I don't know if he wanted. No, he wanted to be
in that picture.
I don't know. He showed up later, and then he wanted to be. He wanted to stand in the middle of us.
And you said no.
Well, it was just like weird.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Why are you
like who are you?
Like here is like my variety show. What?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess he thought he was the guy. All right, Chauncey, thanks. All right, Artie Lang, go ahead.
Hey,
Artie
Howard, what's
Lang.
up, man?
Yeah, hey, Artie.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I like Chris. I think he's funny, but what he said before about that Rolling Stone cover is wrong.
All right, go. Artie's going to defend Norm, I guess.
Norm representative.
You know you might be wrong.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's just that Chris made it sound like Norm showed up begging to get on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Oh no, he wasn't begging. He was just like assuming he was on the cover with us, and
Well, he was though.
I know he was.
But he wanted to stand in the middle as well.
No. They were begging Norm to do it, and he thought it seemed weird.
He didn't want to do it.
Right, he thought it seemed weird to stand in the middle of all you guys.
Oh, that's true.
They definitely wanted Norm to be on the cover because at the time, I mean, he was the funniest guy on the show. Howard, you've said that a million times.
I think Norm is hysterical.
He is. I already said that.
Yeah, and so does Chris.
But, you know, he made it sound like Norm's begging to get on the cover of Rolling Stone.
No,
You guys said no.
Hey, Artie, do you know why Norm has such a problem with Chris?
No. I
what
think,
is his problem?
You know, I don't know. I wasn't there when they met or all that stuff happened. I think-
Well, you are Mrs. Norm
Wait a
MacDonald.
minute, you weren't there during the shoot either, but you know all about that.
You know, as a matter of fact, I was, because me and Norm had already done the movie, and I had lunch with his assistant. We went over there.
There you go,
Yeah, I
Artie.
can tell you, Howard, it's Christopher Walken. I hosted Saturday Night Live
Yes.
several times. I think Norm is just a funny guy. He came up to me one day and said, I'm a big fan. I said, what's your favorite movie? He said, Chris Kattan's a fag.
Really?
It had nothing to do with anything.
Oh, that's
I, for the
ridiculous.
record, have never heard Norm say that.
All right. Thank you, Artie.
All right, man.
Where are you today?
I'm in beautiful New Jersey.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
You want to hear? Go
ahead. Go ahead. There you go.
We're on SNL one time, right? This is what Norm just didn't care about anyone. This a quick story. Pamela Anderson is on it. Every time a hot chick would come on, Kattan would go over the top to like, oh my God, you know, he'd write a sketch. We're gonna make out.
Right.
She's hot. She's with Tommy Lee Hammer. Back off.
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on. So he writes a sketch, and they do this sketch where it's the Twilight Zone when everyone's in pig face or something.
Right.
All right. So that's the goof. So me, Kattan, we're all in it, and Norm is the guy who's got to go, imagine if you will. Now, Norm doesn't read sketches, and he's a pro.
Right.
So he would rehearse it and go, hey, imagine if you will, second time, and Kattan would go, oh my God, you don't even sound like him. Why would you do that? And I would stand and go, Norm, you gonna hit him back? Like, you gonna say something to him? You just gonna take that from this guy? Now we go to a dress show, which has an audience, and it's being filmed.
Right.
And again, he starts punking into Norm on the set.
Right.
He's going, oh my God, Norm, you gonna do it right? It's my only sketch.
Right, you don't sound like Rod Serling.
He's like, hey, imagine 10, 9, and we're on. And, hey, imagine if you will. And he knew the deal.
Right.
Now we go to air. And Norm still hasn't said nothing. Every time Kattan would say something to him, I'd look at Norm like, hey, man, you're my hero. What's up? Because if you're not going to say something, I will.
Right.
And sure enough, you know, he'd give me like a wink. I swear to you, he'd give me a wink. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Live air comes on. And I'm like, 20 seconds to the Twilight Zone sketch. He starts up again. We're mic'd, the whole audience is listening. He's like, oh, God, Kattan. Norm, you better sound like... Oh, God, Pamela, you're so hot. Norm, you're gonna... Pamela, I can't wait if you ever get rid of... 10 seconds! Norm turns to Kattan. Right for his head, he goes, hey, Pamela, did Chris tell you he's gay yet? And he's got all this rage because he likes being gay. Why don't you just say you're gay and you wouldn't have all this anger and be a pester? 5 seconds! And you wouldn't have all this rage and try to interrupt everyone's sketch because you suck this week. And we're on! Imagine if you will. Like, there's my hero. There's my hero.
See, he knew to save it for the live air.
Saved it. He saved
nice.
it.
And Kattan sank.
I couldn't even get my words out.
Yeah, I didn't say what he said. He was saying he was being.
He was paraphrasing and being kind. What did you say?
Well, Chris is a great guy, but he used to bring around women all the time to the show, you know. Big, tall women, you know. Big bruisers, you know. And he'd say, look, I'm heterosexual. I mean, he wouldn't say that out loud, but that's what that would be the caption on the picture in the New Yorker. Boy, those are funny.
So it was something related to his sexuality.
Maybe. But listen, if I call a person gay, that ain't no insult.
It's a good thing nowadays.
Yeah, if you say it's an insult, you're the homophobe, not me.
Correct. Supreme Court says so.
That's absolutely. Would you care to hear my Anthony
Yeah,
Hopkins?
I want to hear
From
Anthony
Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, I want to
Okay,
hear.
you be
your
the girl.
impression?
You be the girl.
Jodie Foster?
Yeah, just say something.
Who recently came out, right?
Yeah, but don't put that part
I'm not
in.
plugging that.
Okay, so just say it. Like you're,
I don't need
I'm Hannibal the cannibal.
I'm Jodie Foster. I can't do Jodie.
No, just say any line.
Okay, Hannibal, you're terrible. What have you done to these innocent people?
Clarice, I don't know what you dream about, but I ate a guy. That wasn't good at all. I've never done it. Here's the problem. I've never done an impression of him.
Do one. Here's Jessica Biel from Flashdance.
Okay. So okay, Jessica.
Yeah.
Man, aren't you getting ready for your dance?
Yeah, I gotta go. I got a big thing tonight. It's like
Jennifer.
That my Jessica Biel and his Anthony Hopkins.
It was pretty
good.
close. They were pretty close. No, sometimes you
We're
think
working
a
on
good
it.
impression might come out. Do you ever do that?
What?
You
What'd
go,
you say?
I'll try
I didn't
this
even hear what
guy.
you said.
You go, man, I like this guy. I'll try him. Maybe it'll come out and sound
Yeah.
like him. And then it
You know, it's the
doesn't.
first time you try an impression. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I could do Cary Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Cary. Nah, it didn't work out.
Didn't work.
Sorry, that scene that you guys.
Daryl, where's Daryl?
The scene that you
Here's
guys
my
just
Daryl.
did, the one that you just did.
Yes.
You did it a few times, so.
Yeah. Every time we try to mix it up a little, you know.
It's good to do it less than more.
Sometimes
Less
less
than
is
more?
more.
Mhm.
Less
Sometimes
is
It
more?
really is.
Sometimes more is more when you're talking about fat women, but less is more when it's acting.
Yeah, if you're talking about Little Women, it's better to talk more about them.
Yeah, less is less with
Talk
women,
less about heavier women.
but less is more in acting. But with big fat women, less is actually
They don't
less.
call 'em-
More is more. There's no hiding that.
It's true. Here's my impression of a big fat woman. Not very good.
Hey, fatty.
So how much longer are you guys going to be here?
What?
We're that's it.
Let's do a little from the sunshine.
We flew in for a half
Let's
hour.
do a little from the sunshine.
We're here for
Boys.
another week, I think.
But next year the sunshine. Boys. You want to hear a little?
I don't know
Sunshine
any
Boys?
from the Sunshine
I don't know.
Boys.
Well, they said we could ad lib it all.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to get together, get back on the road again. See, do our vaudeville act.
I can't do that.
Why
Don't
not?
you see I got all this paperwork to do?
Yeah, you're balder than anything.
Wait a minute. If I weren't 70.
Ah.
Let's see. That's good.
That was.
I got all this paperwork to do, and if I weren't 70.
When I was a kid, I'd do impressions because Rich Little did impressions. And I would do impressions of him doing impressions. I wouldn't know who the guy was. It'd be like Jimmy Cagney or something. I'd never heard of him, but me and my buddies would, do Jimmy Cagney.
An American, you say? Well, I'm a Yankee Doodle Janty. Yankee Doodle, do or die. You can't get any more American than that.
So, but no, sometimes people do yell that stuff out, though. They'll go like Bob Dole, like I'm going to do some guy that's, hasn't been around in 8 years. So,
well, no, it's good to know that it was the brilliance of Rich Little that led to Dirty Work in the end. I'm glad that I can draw the line from point A to point B.
Well, Rich Little has this really funny thing. If you want to see something funny, I mean funny in a bad way, it's he did A Christmas Carol, Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And he plays every character in it.
Rich Little's A Christmas Carol, starring Rich Little as W.C. Fields, Paul Lynde, Richard Nixon, Edith Bunker, John Wayne, and many, many more.
And I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but it was so funny. So he's like,
and it's just anyone he could do, you know. So they're not even guys from the right time frame that lived at the same time. So it'll be like Tiny Tim is Paul Lynde, you know, and Marley is Nixon and stuff, you know. So it's like he's like it's like a horrible Nixon impression he does, and
they'll never let me forget about those 18 and a half. And the third, when the last stroke has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more.
And so, you know, it's like Tiny Tim. Go and get me a goose. And it's like, okay, I will, you know. Forget it.
I think
you guys have the capacity with your computers to find that kind of stuff.
I think it's on Twitter.
Yeah, you should try to Twitter that.
I think that's something. I think you could do that. I mean, that would be. I think you should remake the Rich Little Christmas Carol.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
It'll go viral. Like you could do it with, but just all Burt Reynolds and David Letterman as Scrooge.
And finally, back again, Burt Reynolds in a commanding lead with $14.
Hey, check out the podium. Look at this.
Mr. Reynolds has apparently changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Great.
All right. Welcome back to the big show. Let me just get rid of this doll of steak. So, Paul is working out today. You know what health club I work out there, don't you, Paul?
No. Which one?
Work out at Crunch.
Where is that, like, where are you as far as that goes? Are you authentically petrified of the end or of falling apart? Which
I mean, I shouldn't think about it as much as I do.
You do? Do you lay there?
I go fucking, I get a lot of tests done.
Do you? Yeah,
like
make sure everything's cool, your cholesterol.
This happened to me one time. Because, like, people say, oh, you're a hypochondriac and shit, but I'm like, no, fuck, that's not it. It's like the only chance you got is early detection. That's all you got. And so I used to go to the Mayo Clinic, you know, in Rochester, Minnesota, every year, and I would have, this is what I would do. Because I don't, this is what doctors do. They'll just fucking, you go, hey, I got a cough. That's probably a cold.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just brush everything off, especially if they know
that's
you're a
what they told
hypochondriac.
Jim Henson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So what I would do is I'd go to this is what happened to me. I went to the Rochester Mayo Clinic, and I would exaggerate all my symptoms. So I go to the stomach guy. He goes, "What do you got?" I go, "I fucking shitting blood. I'm coughing up blood." He goes, "Holy fuck!" So he'd give me a full thing. I wanted to make sure I got a full thing. So every fucking guy, blood was coming out of my nose and ears and my asshole and everything. So anyways. Just so I get a full, clean bill of health. So I did, and then that's when I'm most happy, is just when I'm walking out of that place.
Now, how long does that last?
Doesn't last long, because obviously 2 days later, the fucking thing can start. But then, a fucking 6 months later, I decided, I never had insurance before, so I decided to get, like, life insurance. Couldn't get it, right? And so I fucking said, why the fuck can't I get, nobody will accept me for life insurance. Anyway, it turns out that the life insurance people are privy to all the doctor's notes.
Oh, so you were
they
saying...
got the doctor's notes. Even though I had a clean bill of health, they go, this guy's shitting blood. Fucking blood everywhere, you know.
I can insure this motherfucker.
Yeah. So they said he must have some unknown disease.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
So it took me a long time, and then finally I had to get that fucking Ed McMahon life insurance. Those guys are like, hey, man, will nobody fucking give you life insurance on account of you're fucking old and sick and going to die die? Here, we can give it to you $1 a month.
If you're 65 or older, you can get term life insurance. And then it says doesn't kick in for 3 years, premiums, you know. And
Plus, imagine if you're the fucking guy that's asked to do that commercial.
And it's like, and no medical tests. We won't ask any medical questions.
Imagine you're an actor, like you're fucking like Robert Wagner, and you know that's you know, like, hey man, do you think about death every fucking day, like me? Did you never fucking think of taking care of your family at any point?
Until right now when you're on your deathbed?
Until now?
Holy shit, man. Yeah, I did notice during the special there were a lot of those things, but you make them fun. It's very rare that you could use the word cancer in a bit and actually make it funny.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure if the cancer dies, I mean, if you die, the cancer also dies at exactly the same time. So that, to me, is not a loss, that's a draw. That's a, you know what I mean?
It was just, yeah. No, I'm not like, that's not what I talk about in stand-up. That was just a certain period of time.
No, that's what I mean. You know, it's
thinking about shit like that.
Do you? I noticed because I'm very bad with me being alone with my own thoughts at night. A lot of times, if I'm just in a quiet room without the TV on, like I'll just think too much to go to sleep.
Yes.
And it could be anything. It could be like, oh, there's a kind of a program I want to maybe work on tomorrow on the computer. Or it could be, hey, I wonder when I'll die. You know, and that. So I like having the TV on just for that. Are you good with your own thoughts, just laying there in the quiet?
I'm no good.
No?
I try to, because, you know, you try something to get off the whatever the fuck you'd use to quiet your mind, you know? Whether it's booze or whatever the fuck, pills, whatever it is. But I try meditation, try that, you know. To me, it worked the opposite. Like I'm sitting in a room of people, they go, just close your eyes. They go, thoughts will happen. No fucking kidding. Racing hellish thoughts, you know? And then the guy's like, just let them go. I'm like, ah. And then you open your eyes, you look at some other fuckers right beside you. And I tried it 3 times. I could never get to any place of quiet.
No, I need a lot of distractions, and I could still operate and work. Like I could make myself, you know, go to sleep, or if I'm working on a computer or something, I'm good with the TV on or something like that. But I need this constant little distraction, because if you're just left alone to your own devices, your thoughts will turn horrid.
I stumped a fucking psychiatrist once. I said to the guy, because I was fucking gambling all the time, shit, right? I had a gambling addiction. I'm over it now, but shit. But he said...
I bet you're not.
That's a good one. He almost lost everything.
Oh, shit.
Chip.
Yes, Chipperson is very funny.
But he said, the psychiatrist, he said, you're using gambling, you're fixating on gambling in order to escape your real thoughts, you know? And I said to him, isn't that why you do everything in life? And literally, I stumped him.
He had no answer.
He was like, ah. And then he recovered and tried to make it. But isn't that why you do everything?
Yes.
So you're not sitting at home
just thinking
about
what was
what's
your,
really going to happen to us?
where it all ends?
Norm, are you in therapy at all?
No.
Really?
Psychotherapy?
Yeah. Have you ever sat with a therapist and?
No, I don't believe in psychotherapy.
You don't?
No.
Really? Why is that?
Because I've read psychotherapists.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with their...
do you do your own psychoanalysis? Do you
I have my own
time,
beliefs.
Right. But do you spend a lot of time in sort of self-reflection and...
Yes.
Do you?
I ruminate.
Do you?
Yeah, I have a theory that that people are in deep denial of death.
Right.
And I'm not.
You know you don't want to.
No, I think most people don't think they're going to die.
Well, yeah, you know what's funny that you say that, because just even in the last week, I'm like, nobody really thinks they're going to die.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't get your head around it because you're so busy living.
Right.
You're
it's
like,
almost impossible to
me.
comprehend.
Right.
And everything you see is living. Even if someone else dies, it's always a shock because they've always been alive. Yeah. So it's very hard. It is a hard thing to wrap your mind around. I'll be doing a lot of this at Cobb's Comedy Club.
You say I don't listen. I tell you I try. And we both got our own problems, but I still try to make you tired.
Haunts me.
Because the thought of not existing, you know, it's like, you know
Really?
what the new thing they call it is? Dirt nap.
Good God, Larry.
That's what they call it, a dirt nap.
You would not say that on Hulu.
No, I wouldn't say it, but I'd say it here.
When I die, I want my body donated to science. But more specifically, a scientist who is working on bringing dead guys back to life.
Oh, that's just, is that funny at all? That's just a statement.
Can I calm your fears about death?
Yeah, please.
Be
serious. Are you being serious?
I'm being completely serious. Because I used to be, as he knows, obsessed with it. And I would ruminate it all night on it. And then I came to a realization that you and death will never intersect. As long as you're here, death is not. As long as death is there, you are not.
Yeah, but since you know it's coming.
Don't you want to live forever?
You bet.
Don't you want to cross that river?
Yeah, I want
Don't you
to.
want to kiss tomorrow now?
You believe you go somewhere?
Sure.
Where do you go?
Well, first they put you in a big black car. And by golly, everybody's dressed in their best Sunday go-to-meeting clothes. It's good to be alive, you know what I mean, isn't it? That's what I say. That's what I like. Ending with music is fantastic.
You could juggle or swallow a sword, or that would be good.
Anything that's different, because all my jokes are equal.
No, you do different. You weave them
No,
different.
I peter out.
Not necessarily.
I tend to peter out.
I've seen you
Sean
get more
O'Connor's has
graphic.
seen it.
How do you like that?
Yeah, it's good, doesn't it? What?
You look very lean.
I'm lean, yeah. I'm on the zone.
So is Gilman.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I just eat regular food.
How do you like it out there?
I actually, one time, I swear to God, I eat bad, right? And one time I lived beside a McDonald's when I was a young kid, you know what I mean? Like 18, 19 years old there. And me and my buddies, all we used to do is smoke dope. And it was back in the old days, you know what I mean? Now I don't do any of that stuff because, you know, it's the thing to say. But no, I don't do anything. I'm scared now of everything. But back then, I always did that. And then I lived right beside a McDonald's, so every day I would eat just Big Macs every day.
Because you get the munchies, don't you?
Yeah. So we'd have a big bunch.
How could we know all this?
I've been told, and it also makes you a little love crazed, from what I hear.
Oh my God!
Those are two good reasons I've ever wanted to do it.
And it makes you like you get all, and you never wear a bra.
That's
it's like
right.
a crazy thing. Yeah.
Awful things happen.
But and so I always ate all these hamburgers, right? These Big Macs, and I passed out one time, and I went to the doctor, and he said, "You're malnourished. You have to eat something other than Big Macs." That's not a good story.
No, I like that story.
Is that the end of it?
Yeah.
You're right. It's not a good story.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad story.
The hug was great. Story wasn't that good.
The scariest movies always to me were the Cronenberg movies. Because there's always the inside.
I was thinking about The Fly recently. Where that moment where it's like when he's climbing up the wall and he's like, pretty weird, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, oh God. And then when he breaks apart and there's a giant fly inside of him. Can we turn this around somehow to end this thing?
It's like my act when I do my act.
Yeah.
I never think of a fucking ending.
Yeah. Just trickle off.
Just fucking.
Me too.
Just unravel.
I guess this is. We
terrible.
good? You done?
It's terrible.
You guys feel okay with what happened here?
Every week I go, why didn't I think of something?
Do you do that thing where you look? It's like, okay, I've done an hour and 15. And I don't know that how it's structured really matters. I'm done.
That's what I'm like. And then I know people are kind of silent. They're like, "Where's the big
matter
ending?"
with him?
Hey, Han. I got a great Norm one for you that I heard. They told me I was just at Governor's. Yeah, Norm goes, this is Norm MacDonald. This is an actual joke of Norm MacDonald. It's not mine. I'm not doing Norm MacDonald's joke. I'm sharing how funny Norm MacDonald is with the listeners. He goes, abbreviations fascinate me, you know. One I really like is ID. Like, hey, Gary, Louis Goldman, You got any ID? That's a great abbreviation, because I, the letter I, that stands for I. And then the D,
That's true.
that stands for dentification. What the H? I think the D is doing all the heavy lifting there, That's an abbreviation for one of them,
But put that joke in somebody else's hands, and it's corny and tacky.
Norm Macdonald was just on David Letterman.
I heard he cried. He was so upset.
He cried, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
But he had a great joke about I don't know if you guys are here. He goes, I got no problem with North Korea. I never lay in bed. They try to scare you on the news, He goes, but I never woke up North Korea. I hope they don't get me, And nobody really laughed, but did you hear Letterman cackling in the background? And you realize it's just with Norm, it's all you are being fucking played. When you think he's bombing, it's all a big setup to the fucking. In a year, he's gonna have the perfect special ever.
You might as well sit with Norm and just keep a smile on your face because you don't know where you are in the joke.
He goes, I'm not afraid of Iran, or Iraq or North Korea. I'll tell you a country I don't like. It's Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs, but at the beginning of our last century, Germany decided to have a war against the world. And what's weird is it was close. You think it'd be 5-minute war, but it was actually it was almost tied. And about 50 years go by, and Germany goes, hey, let's have another war against the world. And they almost won that one, too. Because you would think everybody in the world would go, hey, Germany, we're not going to let you have a country anymore. Who are you, Mars? Just fucking, I just love, it was, you would think it'd be over in 5 minutes, but it was close.
Did you hear him talking on the Russell Brand podcast with him and Russell Brand when he was talking about how he was at the party or when he played the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Yeah.
And Larry Flint said,
I'll take care of you. Right?
I'll take care of you. He goes, when a guy says, I'll take care of you, you think you're going to get if he owns a grocery store, you think you're going to get some vegetables. But Larry Flint, you think you're going to get some crazy kooky girl and you're going to get to have sex with her. And then Larry Flint's going to come in his wheelchair just whacking off.
But he does an impression. The guy jacking off. Larry Flint fucking. That was an amazing experience watching Russell Brand and Norm Macdonald because, in my opinion, I think you and I are kind of together on this, two of the most beautiful human beings, comedically, aesthetically, just to look at. You just look at Norm, you kind of can't stop looking at him. People go hey, Norm, but nah, if you look at Norm Macdonald, if I just showed you a photo of Norm Macdonald, you know who he was, and I'm like, this, you don't remember this guy from the Cary Grant movies? You wouldn't go no, what? He's gorgeous. And Russell Brand, people write him off. Norm on his video cast, he's got this running thing where he'll explain a serial killer, and he just draws everybody in. And it's not until you see 2 years, it's like a joke for him and Adam Egget. Mm-hmm. And it's hey, this guy, I've been in Ontario. I'm an old chunk of coal, Anthony, but there was a man murdered his entire family. When the police got to him, his wife's innards were soup, a stew. He was eating his bride, And then he winds up killing a few policemen and takes a few children, and there's a crawl space. I know what this crawl space is. That's where this guy sounds like a real jerk. That's the whole punchline.
Yeah.
But it goes on for 8 minutes just so he can go, this guy sounds like a real jerk.
But we all had to pitch to Lorne, and then I realized early that I would pitch all my real ideas and I wanted to impress everybody, and I would give and then this happens, and then this is the joke, and then this is, and the big twist is this. At the end. So then when it got to the table for table read in front of 40 people, no one laughed because I did the sketch in the room. And then I realized a couple months in, there was the art of the fake pitch. And Kevin Nealon and Norm Macdonald, it was a contest every week to see who could come up with the fucking weirdest fake pitch that the host believed was actually happening. And the rest of the room we all knew it wasn't. Lorne knew it wasn't.
That's awesome.
But I remember Kevin Nealon every week would do 2 fake pitches and go, also I have this idea where you live at the the top of one of those runaway truck ramps, you know, in your house all the way up there, and just it's like dinner time. A truck comes flying through your house, man. And the host would go, "Yeah, this is funny." I mean, but every week, and we would all just be laughing so hard, and the host is looking around like, "Yeah, that is funny, right?" But we're laughing because the host is a fucking moron. And then Norm, I remember, it was Bob Newhart goes, I got this idea. People always confuse literally and figuratively. A guy will go, hey, how was that movie you just saw? You know, and I go, oh my God, it was so funny. I literally laughed my head off. But hey, he didn't, you know, because he's got a head still. And Bob Newhart just stared at Norm like, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard. And then Norm, like a dog with a chew toy, was like, I'm not leaving this room until, like, they fucking lock the doors like a prison movie.
He's going to break them?
Like, yeah. And he goes, or you go, hey, how's your wife? Well, she literally died when she got your message. She literally dropped dead right there on the floor. She's died. She literally died, and he's moving like closer.
Did Newhart break at a certain point?
Yeah, eventually he just fucking won. And then that week, Norm did a sketch where he was Charles Kuralt, and he was the only. It was just Charles Kuralt alone talking to camera, and we're all like in full Charles Kuralt makeup, unrecognizable, and you're like, how the fuck do you like? His fake sketches were better than anything I ever actually got on air.
He's amazing, isn't he? He's an amazing guy.
He is amazing.
He's a super funny
comedy,
guy.
I got heard for like 2 years. I'd go to a comedy club and they'd go, yeah, Norm was here last week. It was pretty fucking weird, dude. And I'm like, what? And my wife and I would like go like, what's going on with, like, I hope he's okay, you know? And then you see his Comedy Central special. Perfect.
Right.
So the joke's on everybody across the country. Like, yeah, he was really weird. He's got these other guys following him. Like every town had a different, like, I think he was super high. And another town's like, he really gambled. And another town, he came in with 19 men. Like weird, like that strange. Like he made us bathe, like he had to be bathed, or he wanted something for his feet. And then just, you know, you see his Comedy Central special, perfect. My father died. My grandfather died. My great-grandfather died. To the best of my knowledge, he's dead, you know. I come from a long line of death. And you're just like, this is perfect comedy. So, however it works for you, I guess.
Yeah.
The best sketch that never got on the air in my entire time at Saturday Night Live, which is only 40 episodes, was Norm MacDonald's game show, Name 2. Hey, Jimmy. Steve Allen is in the Guinness Book of World Records, rating over 4,000 songs for that new car. Name 2.
Name 2 of who?
Steve Allen is in the Guinness Book. Now, Kate Bush is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot, you know, for being a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame worthy lady. She's written over 600 songs. Name 2. Ding, 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 ding. Name 2. What a great fucking sketch.
That's a great sketch. Why didn't it get on? I'll read your book.
Who knows? I don't know why.
I'll read your book.
I was driving from Quebec City back to Montreal, because when you do that festival, the Montreal Festival, I would get too drunk, and I'm like, I need to get out of here. I don't want to be I just don't want to be the drunk comedian anymore. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Quebec City during the day and have a day. And I was driving back to Montreal to do shows that night, and I was listening to Norm's album just called Me Doing Stand Up, and I fucking had to pull over so I didn't crash my car.
No room for improvement.
No, I almost crashed my car. I was laughing so hard.
It's 16 ounces of water in like a 10-ounce glass,
Yeah.
and it never just like.
I was like,
my grandfather died, my great-grandfather died. Yeah. You know, my father, he goes on. I come from a long line of death.
Yeah, no, it was that
cancer.
Part.
It's a
He's like, everybody's afraid of a terrorist. Yeah, it's your heart is what's going to attack and kill you. Like your heart. And the funniest joke is when he goes, the only way to stop your heart from attacking you is to attack your heart with a defibrillator.
We're not doing this justice at all. And
No.
it's funny because like people that don't just get it, you're not going to convince them.
No.
By sharing it.
You just got to listen to that album. So funny.
What was it like? Hey, he lost his long battle with, finally lost his courageous battle with cancer.
Yeah.
All right, but if he dies, the cancer dies, that's a draw.
Yeah, it's such a good.
Or like alcoholism's not a disease. Like my uncle's got bowel cancer. I have
Yeah.
searing pain. What are your symptoms? You're real happy. Sometimes I meet somebody else's disease and we fuck.
You heard you had a great Norm story about taunting Chris. What's his name?
I forgot his name. Man, I'm old. Where you can't think of names. The guy, you have rage, because you're gay.
Chris Titus?
No, on Saturday Night Live.
I don't. Chris Kattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's listen to his great story of doing Norm taunting Chris Kattan. Right.
So your story is about another guy that has a story about a guy who has a story. That's what you're going out on. That's your closer
I know.
here.
I've been quoting.
Hey, Jim told a story about Norm, who had a story about Chris Kattan. You should ask him about it. That's your fucking big. That's your story.
Wow. Yeah, I don't have big endings, but yeah. He again. You know what I get mad when the people are great. Instead of going, Rob Bartlett's a great guy.
Wonderful man.
Wonderful.
One of
Artie
the nicest
Lang.
guys. One of the hardest working. Rob Bartlett is in like the choir or in a Broadway
He got
show.
me on Imus without
and then
asking.
he does Don Imus.
Then he tried to get me on Opie and Anthony without me asking. Artie Lang, what a sweet guy.
Artie, a legendary episode of this podcast was in my hotel room in New York with Artie.
Oh, I listened.
They brought up pots of coffee, and you could tell who the two addicts in the room were. My wife's just sitting there relaxing and smoking. Artie and I are having like a coffee contest. It wasn't until like 6 cups in where we realized, oh, why don't we just slow it down and actually just relax?
Yeah.
Oh, he had a great Norm story. When he's, he had a great story. He was opening for Norm in San Francisco, and Norm goes, hey, we're in San Francisco, so don't do any of that fag shit, And he's like, what? And he goes, San Francisco. There's a lot of gay guys here. They live here in San Francisco. So just when you go up there, don't do any of that fag shit. And Artie's like, all right, like didn't plan on it. And then Artie does 20 minutes. Norm goes up and goes, hey, what's with his AIDS? They say it's like the worst disease in the world, But I saw in the news today, AIDS does not discriminate, and that's nice.
Oh, no.
So I don't know why is it so bad. Hey, don't do any of that fag shit. So maybe if Norm was on the set of Suddenly Susan, he could be like, you're a homophobe. You're not holding Maddie's hand. You're just on the wrong shows with the wrong
he
people.
would taunt me, go, yeah, look at Stoller.
I can't believe you were bullied by Norm Macdonald.
Why don't you believe that?
Because Norm is just like the unicorn. Like nobody really has conversations with Norm, let alone.
He would kind of, well, he would.
I'm going to kick your ass, Fred.
No, not threaten to beat
me
me
and
up.
Billy Joe Shaver.
not threaten to beat me up, but just kind of like
teasing you a lot.
I know you're at the end, but him and Cato were friends, and they would just be
him
assholes.
and who?
Cato Kalin, the biggest piece of shit.
So Cato
Kalin, watch the
Kalin?
whole Artie thing. We talked about it.
No,
yeah.
I didn't. I fell asleep. It was on late. That's not because you were boring. I mean,
him and Norm were best friends. He was Norm's lifeline.
Hey, Cato Kalin.
They were friends.
So
and they would
Cato
play
Kalin
tennis.
would heckle you too?
Well, we one time me, Cato, and Norm played tennis, and I got a flat tire, and they were driving, laughing at me because I was on the side of the road. And Cato would kiss up to Norm,
but they didn't stop to help you with your.
No,
flat tire.
they stuck their heads out the window, and were laughing as they drove by.
What jerks!
Yeah,
you should go on Norm's podcast.
Well, I did.
Oh, you did already?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
well, you don't need my help at all, do you?
No. Yeah, and
was it fun? Did you
it
bring
was.
up the fact that he bullied you?
Or
were you afraid because he was a bully?
I was a little afraid that I'd get busted, and about the book. But he goes, I don't care. Norm didn't care. Yeah, I go, I said, Norm, I have to be honest. You're in the book, and I said something. He goes, I don't care.
Last time I got heckled bad was at Motor City Casino in Detroit. And I was doing Norm Macdonald. But the thing about the Norm Macdonald impression is
you're at the Motor City Casino in Detroit.
Hey, man,
So-
I'm down. I love the D.
Yeah.
But I'm doing Norm. But the thing about a Norm impression is you have to ramble and circle it back around. Like it's got to get a little uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was doing Demi Moore. Oh, my God. Demi Moore went to the hospital for that exhaustion there, Exhaustion. Oh, my God. You know where I go where I'm exhausted, John? Home. Whenever I'm tired. I went to the hospital, and it's this whole long thing about being on a construction site. And me and my friend John and Eric, like, hey, what do you say after work? We go to the emergency room to rest, and I just keep going and going, and like right next to me, like right there, she goes, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And I go, "There's always one cunt, And I did it in the impression, and that person emailed me on my website and said I was the cunt. I'm sorry, but I was really confused. And everyone explained to me what was happening. Tell us about Norm stealing your jacket.
Well, when I did Norm's show, this denim, when I saw Artie Lang, he goes, "Hey, that's a great." Well, I'm doing Norm. You know how you do Norm. Someone did Norm. It almost sounds like Bob Dylan. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
and growing in the wind. Yeah,
Fred Stoller. I saw Norm. It was kind of sad. I saw him. No, I heard him on Mark Maron's podcast, WTF, and he goes, "Yeah, all these people do impressions of me, And I'm like, "Oh my god, I sound like a fucking retard." And I'm like, "That's not how I sound." And then now every time I do Norm Macdonald at the Melrose Improv, I'm like, "He's fucking here. Watch, he's here, and he's like super aware of the fact." Oh my god, Fred Stoller wrote a book,
And I'm the antagonist, apparently.
I stole his jacket, I'm like, "Hey, Fred.
I really need those jackets."
Hey, tell us about that jacket, Fred.
When I did his show, I knew him a little bit, but then he heard that I was playing tennis. Hey, let's go play. So people don't know who Lori Joe is. I don't know how to explain what she is.
His
assistant. And
she was the writer's assistant when I was on Saturday Night Live,
so
Lori Joe.
We joined. She paid for some tennis club right by Warner Brothers. You worked there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You did Jay and Mary?
I think I hold serve, Hey, how's Epi doing, man?
But this is how pathetic I am. I fantasized being on this podcast. And fantasize Jay doing Colin Quinn going, "Yeah, Stoller's got a book. Him, Leon Roth, and Philip. Yeah, Stoller. That's what we want to read. Philip,
Hey, Fred, how about you? Why don't you just tell everybody how Norm took your jacket?
Just real literature. Oh,
you just
Stoller.
keep going around in circles instead of telling everybody. Jay's like, "Tell us about how Norm stole your jacket." And it's like 10 minutes later, you're like, "Yeah, tennis club.
Okay, yeah,
what is he talking about?"
I don't need to tell a whole
like
tennis
Yakim
story.
Noah is in the corner going, "Even I don't like tennis as much." Jesus, Fred.
So basically, all right, long story short, as the late Warren Thomas would say,
Too late.
Too late for that. I
like how you credit that one guy, Warren Thomas, like that was his.
No one else?
Nobody, no, only people that age and younger.
Well, he's the one who I learned that from. Okay, so Lori would pick us up, and I left the jacket in a car. He didn't go premeditated. I'm going to steal that denim jacket. It looks nice, but I left it there, and I didn't have the money now. Now I wouldn't care about buying Sinatra recommendations, denim jackets. So he said, "Norm, I said, "Norm, I want my leather my denim jacket." "Yeah, you and that jacket." I go, "Norm, it's a new jacket." "That's not new." And he just, he would taunt me. I go, "Norm, yeah, that's a shitty jacket." So I made it, and I was supposed to.
Wait, so why does he have your jacket? I'm confused.
Lori would pick us up and play tennis.
Right.
So, so I left it there because it got hot. We were
in
playing
tennis or in her car?
I guess in a car.
And then he just
assumed it was his, or
absconded
she
with it,
took
yeah.
it. Yeah, he didn't go, "Ooh, a jacket, DT."
Right,
like a
but
cartoon.
then every time you asked for it, he just completely downplayed it like
he'd
you were...
go, "I'd wave his hand in disgust. You and that jacket."
Fred and his jacket,
Yeah. Now, why do you want that jacket? So I go,
Really?
Yeah. He was a bit of a bully. He would taunt me. You know what I always say with Norm? He wanted to be like how Stern had, Larry, the mentally challenged guy, because you can't say, hey, elephant schmuck, Rippy boy, and Lori was Robin.
Wait,
laughing.
is this one of your basketball leagues, or is this...
I can't.
This is the expansion team.
That's funny. They can't get on the regular mentally challenged team.
Mr. Rippy and Elephant Schlong. Should I close with Norm, a paragraph from his book about Don Rickles?
Yeah, close with that.
As Norm.
Yes.
Okay, because it is... I was at a hotel reading that off my iPad. I laughed so hard, I fell on the ground.
I don't doubt this.
My wife came in the other room because she thought I was having an actual heart attack because apparently I was just making gasping sounds and kicking things over.
Oh, that's perfect.
You want to hear a part of Norm? By the way, Norm's book, based on a true story, Norm Macdonald, is a must, and you have not read it.
I haven't read it. I see it. I'm on planes. It's my next buy for sure.
So it's about Don Rickles. This is Norm Macdonald's book. If you want to put a link up at jmmoore.com, since Brooks doesn't sell anything, and a link to Brooks' Instagram at jmmoore.com.
Oh, no, you can buy my album.
This is cool, right?
Yeah, my album's called This Is Cool, right? It's been out.
Love that album.
Thank you, Jay. It's very
Great
nice.
title, too.
What a delight. Thank you.
He was a big Rickles fan. He saw him on Tonight Show his whole life, right? And he's on the set of Dirty Work, Don Rickles to Norm Macdonald. So I approached him the first day in the makeup trailer, and I introduced myself. I said, "I just want to tell you, Mr. Rickles, I feel so honored that you'd agree to be in the film, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart." He shook my hand. "That's very nice, Norm. By the way, I spoke to the home. Your room will be ready Tuesday."
The trailer erupted in laughter, and I felt rage deep in my soul. I saw myself in the mirror, and I saw that my face was beet red. I wasn't on any waiting list for any type of home, as Mr. Rickles was clearly suggesting, you know. I'm losing the impression, but I swallowed my anger. And I was determined to find the real man through my own kindness and love. Mr. Rickles, I'd be honored if I could take you out to one of Toronto's finest restaurants and buy you dinner tonight. You know? I have a better idea, Norm. Why don't you go to a shed in the desert with a rake and go brap?
Go brap. It's literally capital.
Yeah, you got a better idea, Norm. Why don't you go to a shed in the desert with a rake and go brap? Now, this awful classless burping noise got the cheap laugh I'm sure Mr. Rickles is used to, but not from me. I could feel myself beginning to shake with rage. Now, I'm going to read to you the part where I was so happy to meet and reach the real Don Rickles, and I said, anything you want to do, what would you like, sir? Well, Norm, he says, I'd like you to get a monkey and an organ grinder and run around the room going, I lost my sack, I lost my sack. And then Mr. Rickles then pranced around the makeup trailer doing a grotesque pantomime of me searching for a missing sock.
What is he talking?
It's fucking fiction.
I know.
Like in the beginning, the first chapter, he's like, him and Lorne Michaels are smoking opium. And it's the most genius thing, because any fucking story, nobody can sue him.
Yeah.
Like, who's the guy, Dick Ebersol, can't do shit about what Norm wrote in here, because Norm's like, wait a minute, me and Lorne were at a whorehouse smoking crack. Don Rickles was doing a grotesque pantomime of me searching for a missing sock, you know. And I fled the makeup trailer. I took a nice long walk trying to compose myself. I think it was the comment about losing my sock and then running around telling everyone that hurt the most. It's fucking... oh, my God. We're crazy people.
It's so funny.
But people listening are like, I don't even know why that's funny.
No, exactly. I saw him in Cedar
Brap.
Rapids. Yeah. He said brap.